Joey.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, don't check your watch, don't check your calendar. It isn't Sunday, it is Saturday Night Live. Don't tell NBC. We are trying to come up with a name, but now that the winter time is here, more people are becoming a little reclusive, so to speak, or, trapped in a basement or even locked in a basement. We're trying to bring you more great high-quality programming. We have a new addition to the Boston wrestling team. I mean, it keeps getting bigger and better. We have, of course, tomorrow night, Sunday Night Live, Slamboree 98, with at least you in a new Boston Wrestling MWF ring announcer, Phil DeCesare.
Very excited about him.
Treasury, and along with the snow that you could say this week that was kind of measury.
Well, I'm excited about Phil.
How excited?
Well, I can barely keep it to myself. I tell everyone I know.
Keep it in your pants.
Yeah, I tell my mother, and she's like, "Who?" And I said, "Exactly," and I walk off. But I am excited about Phil joining. Though that means no more.
I am too.
That means no more Sacco and the ring announcer role.
Well, we're working. We're trying to figure out a game plan. John Cena Sr. is a man that drops bombshells.
Cena Sr., I used to give him a lot of flack for selling, cheap gooch by ringside, but you know what? At the end of the day, he's got a lot on his plate. So Cena Sr., I'm going to turn it over.
Do you think he made a good call on DeCesare?
I think so. And you know what? If John Cena Sr., if you're watching, I'm going to turn a new leaf this year. It's January the 8th, about a week into the new year. Yeah. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Slate is wiped clean.
And his piece.
And his piece.
All right, well, he's looking forward to seeing. Don't forget, fans, 2 weeks from right now, we are going to be joined by the wild, unpredictable Berzerker. And I think we're going to be watching, what was it we were going to watch when the Berserker's here?
Was it Rumble 92?
Well, he was only in 2 of them, so that narrows it down.
I believe it was Royal Rumble 92.
All right, and when he's here on Sunday, we're going to watch 93.
We could. I'm open to whatever.
We'll make it a John Nord weekend.
Your
good friend, John Nord.
I love him. I need to call him. I messaged him. I need to call him.
You will not get a response to those text messages. I don't think he can figure out how to do it. Much like the room key.
Oh, the room key. Poor. The humanitarian you are, who snickered and walked out into the night.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Well, if anyone doesn't know, John Nord was tired that day, and he was trying to get around, and his room was up on the 7th floor.
Oh, you remember better than I do about that, I guess.
Dan and I are about to leave, and he's like, I say, "Are you going to be okay, Johnny?" And he says, "Oh, I'll be fine, And I said, "Okay." And as he says that, his room key falls out of his hand like the soap in a prison. And he just says, "Oh, I'll get it." He couldn't get it. So I decided to get it. And I said, "I'll help you to your room." As I'm saying that, Dan is dying on the outside. And he walks away into the night. Like that song, "Into the night."
Well, I wasn't in the physical position to be able to get the key for him.
You had a long day yourself.
I had a bad back.
To be fair.
I have CRPS. I couldn't get John's key.
Yeah. I was still on the gas a little bit, so I had enough strength to do it.
Well, of course. And you probably could have lifted John if you needed to. You were on so much gas. Are you excited about the debut of the newcomer to the... Oh, Jesus Christ. Are you excited about the new... Imagine if that ever happened in the basement. Yeah. But I mean... Are you excited about the newcomer to the Boston wrestling team tonight?
I've been hearing a lot about him, and I'm very excited.
Really? You've heard a lot about him?
I've heard a lot about him, and I was able to meet him.
Kevin Manicus Hart.
Kevin Manicus Hart. I was expecting more of an Ahmed Johnson kind of fellow.
Well, you know what? Names can be deceiving,
Can be deceiving. But, I've met him. He's a lovely young man, and he looks great for 45 years old, as he was telling me.
Yeah, to be able to co-star with The Rock and do an ECW Barely Legal watch-along with us. I mean, really, what more does it say about one's career? We're also joined in the broadcast booth tonight by the one, the only, John C. Manicus Riley.
You talk about a road dog. Well, no pun intended.
Well, I'm still a little upset about that, but continue, please.
Manicus Riley.
But which one? Oh, Manicus Riley.
Manicus Riley. He's a lot of things, but he's a loyal man.
He's a trooper.
He is.
He's a trooper.
He could be out pounding who knows what and what knows what, but he's here with you and I.
That's what he's going to do after we're done. But I didn't want to say anything. And he doesn't have birdseed-sized teeth.
Well, you know, he has a regular toothbrush. Let's put it that way.
All right. All right, wrestling fans, as you continue to tune in around the corner, around the world, are you ready? No, Quincy's not going to be here tonight, Big, unfortunately, as much as we would have loved to have. I bet Quincy would have loved ECW, even if he really didn't understand what was going on.
I think he would be the biggest baby face in that company,
They
or
loved him.
or the biggest heel, because he might say, "This is for the kids. We have to stop the violence. It's for the kids."
No, I could see him getting into it. Just to picture him sitting with Hat Guy at the arena.
Oh, that'd be a good one. Or who was the other guy? I don't know what his ethnicity was. He kind of looked exotic. He'd go into all the WWF pay-per-views. You know what I'm talking about? He had the glasses.
Yeah.
He was buff, and he had the stringer tank top, Vladimir. I think Quincy and Vladimir would get along famously. Who is Vladimir? I saw him
Vladimir was a diehard fan. Vladimir was so in with the company, and I know this is a fact. The reason he was able to get the tickets he got was because he was allowed to buy them before they were put on sale to the fans.
Really?
There were a select group of diehards they knew that were around so often, they'd give them, for all the knocks they get, they were WWE, WWF at that point would allow those fans to do that.
What towns was he in? He was going to New York? Or?
Oh, he was all over the Northeast.
I feel like every old pay-per-view you see, almost half of them, he was there.
They started, or I don't know if they finished it, but they were taping a documentary with him at WrestleMania at Raymond James Stadium.
This past
year, yeah, but I was told it was scrapped. I guess they didn't feel there was enough interest in a Vladimir documentary.
Well, listen, we have all kinds of WWE backstage shows, and it's like there's not enough interest for.
I would have watched it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's interesting. How many diehards are there from the '80s that are still watching today? I mean, some of them are probably dead, but some of them maybe they've tuned out in the last few years.
I'm sure maybe Vladimir, the documentary, would have got them back.
Well. Nostalgia is a big thing. People look back on those eras, and maybe some of the fans, you know, especially when it was more territorial, and they'd go to the same towns month after month, you know, you'd see the same people. Memphis was like that. Florida was like that. You'd see the same people in the same seats. Yeah. ECW, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Manicus Hart is from Miami, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, Miami used to be part of the old Florida wrestling territory. Yeah. Dusty Rhodes and the Grahams.
He was a big fan of the Grahams, he said. We'll have to ask him. He's going to be joining us on camera in a little bit if we can.
Funny enough, Phil was a big fan of the Grahams. Quincy's more of a fan of Graham crackers.
Phil was a fan of the Grahams.
I'm guessing.
Oh, all right.
He seemed like he'd be a Mike Graham fellow.
Really?
I feel like he'd like Mike.
I could see Phil appreciating Mike Graham.
I could see him liking Mike Graham.
Maybe not Jerry Graham.
You know, I don't know. He was a big fan of King.
Was a little too much of a character.
He might have. I mean, he was a big fan of guys like King Khan Mosca and Billy Graham. He would like Billy Graham.
Well, hopefully Phil is going to be joining us. I don't see him yet, but I do see our friend Rise and Big are with us tonight. Quincy Mania is running wild, brother. Well, I'm hoping we can get him here on Thursday. In the wintertime, he needs to be picked up and dropped off. He doesn't have a cell phone, so he couldn't order an Uber if his life depended on it. But you think it's time to get extreme?
I think it is. I think it is.
Gentlemen in the back, is it time to get extreme? All right, you know to switch the camera. Show him Manicus. Manicus Riley, I should say. Teach Manicus Hart. All right, good. Put it on you for all the ladies in the crowd.
Anyways, I hope everyone was having a good week. And I hope everyone...
Why do you wish they're having a good week?
Well, I don't want them to have a bad week. I mean, unless you're an a-hole, then I would want you to. But I don't think anyone who watches the show is a bad person.
All right, wrestling fans, we are going to, if you have not yet, click the link in the description box below or in the premiere chat to take you to Peacock TV for the WWE Network. That's the version we are going to be watching. John C. Manicus Riley is manning the booth. He switched the camera over. We're going to go 3, 2, 1, click, and then we're going to be watching it together again. So everybody get your wild fingers ready. It's time for ECW, Barely Legal 1997, the first ECW pay-per-view produced under Paul Heyman, in 3, 2, 1, click. All right, baby. Are you ready, CW?
I am very ready.
Shit. Now, so is the laptop.
Do you see any resemblance between them and AEW?
No.
Really?
Do you?
To some degree, I think that they both have very niche audiences. I think ECW reminded me Ring of Honor about 15 years ago was very similar to ECW, more so than AEW. But I think Ring of Honor to me was my ECW back in the day. That's what I really liked. I know you weren't into it because I know you don't
I wouldn't
like.
go that far either, but what do you have in your hand?
Oh, just this, my hands. That's it.
I thought on the camera, I thought it was an optical. Oh, it's your phone.
My phone. It's a.
I thought I saw
I'll put
it
that
was an
down.
apple or something.
I'm gonna put that down because I'll
Well,
look
it's just
at it.
I happened to be glancing,
I
glancing
see.
at
I see. A glance, yeah.
the computer. But
were you actually ever a Ring of Honor fan at all, or no? You never liked their product much.
I never really saw much of it, to be fair.
It was
It's
smaller
not like
guys.
It was on TV.
Yeah, I mean, you had to follow it. That's the thing.
You had to find it or buy their tapes or. And to be fair, I think, you know, their ownership group in the beginning was scumbags, but that changed once Corey Silkin bought into it.
Yeah.
Kerry Silkin bought it, and then the folks at Sinclair Broadcasting that invested nothing in it.
Yeah.
Which it should have morphed into AEW as it was, but right now we open up the show with Bubba Ray, Devon, Sign Guy, Dudley, along with the stud muffin Joel Gertner, who celebrates the same birthday as Dan Marotti.
You know, you and him
Or
look.
today, as I was insulted by someone when they said Dan Murad, as I was on the phone.
I guess they weren't a true paisan. Unlike
I'm
Kevin
looking for
Petrantozzi from the Diamond Exchange.
I don't. No, he gets the big introduction.
Okay. By the way,
I agree with you, Rise. I'll allow that comment.
did you care for the Dudleys at all ever?
I like the ECW version of them. I thought the WWE version was kind of eh.
Well,
I know I'd probably, should I say this on camera? I don't know. I don't think I'd ever book either one of them.
you never what?
I'd never book another one of them again.
Well, I could tell you from my personal viewpoint, to me, they did a lot with the little they had.
Who?
The Dudleys. They weren't the most talented workers, but they had long careers and they were over at different points. I was never personally a big fan. Like, to me, they're not the Steiners or the Road Warriors or the Rock and Roll Express.
Certainly not.
I wouldn't even put them over in Edge and Christian.
I don't care how many sports entertainment tag team titles they won.
I would put Edge and Christian over them. I'd put the Hardys over them. I would put the old Hart Foundation, the Bulldogs over them. I'd put all those teams over them.
We could come up with a long list, I think.
Yeah.
My problem
Midnight.
was this. When I helped TNA promote when they did the Slammiversary 2013 pay-per-view up here. Mm-hmm. The day before, they invited me as a guest to their fan fest, but they were desperate for help. So they had Dan Marotti call out the recruits, the MWF support team, so to speak. And in between one of the autograph signings they had, Jeremy Borash needed Bubba Ray. I think he was the champion. He was in the main event, but I think he was the champion.
Was this with him and Saban, maybe? Or
Yeah,
Aries?
it was after that. No, I think it was Sting.
Him and Sting.
I
Was
think
this
it
the
was the
Bully
main
Ray
event.
character?
It was the night he turned and joined that Sons of Anarchy motorcycle gang.
The Aces and Eights?
Yes.
That never rode motorcycles.
Right.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. They needed him to do an interview to promote the pay-per-view
Why
with
wouldn't he do
some
it?
Boston radio station, and he wouldn't do it. He goes, listen to me. I'm fucking tired. I'm going to my room to rest. I mean, how much energy would it have taken to do an interview to promote a show for a company bleeding money, paying him a very healthy income? So you know what? Maybe he was having a bad day. Maybe he had other things going on. Mm-hmm. So be it. Devon, when we had him, blech,
Yeah?
blech,
Just didn't care for him.
blech.
As a person, as a wrestler? everything?
Both.
Okay. Again,
Very lazy, very unmotivated, and professionally, blech.
okay.
And the person that set up the booking within the industry, a WWE known superstar, was very, very disappointed in him. Blech.
Well, I can say this.
J.A. Will, how are you, buddy?
J.A. Will, the Public Enemy, another tag team that did a lot with very little, to a degree.
Well,
They didn't get over as the Dudleys did, but
they didn't get over anywhere outside of ECW, really.
yeah, I wonder if that was just more how they just handled themselves in the back. I don't know, Rocco
I
Rock, Johnny
like them
Grunge.
both an awful lot because they would still come in and do shots for Tony Rumble, even though they were with WCW.
Oh yeah,
But
those guys
they
go
just
back.
they, especially Grunge. I mean, when they were in there with major league talent, they were exposed.
Yeah.
Paul Heyman was great at, presentation of maybe guys that didn't have the most talent in the world. How do I bring the best talent out of them? And you know what? Is Vince McMahon going to sit around when he's worried about Austin and The Rock and say, geez, what can I do to get the most out of Johnny Grunge and Rocco Rock? You know what I mean? Well, happy you're here, J.A. It's always better when you're here, if you will, no pun intended. Hopefully everyone's going to enjoy meeting the new member of the team. Oh, wait a minute. Who? No, he hasn't earned it yet. John C. Manicus Riley has just come out, almost insulting me.
I think John C. just wants to get rid of him.
I think he wants to get rid of him, yeah. Well, he told me it's because of his, well, I don't know if it's PC to say, but,
Oh, well.
Because he's not that tall.
Well, that could be.
Kevin Manicus Hart.
Kevin Manicus. Here's two. Now, these two guys were impressive together, I think.
Two men I knew pretty good from their time.
Yep.
Well, no, I'm trying to think. Wait a minute now. Did Cronus ever work for Tony Rumble?
Cronus, I heard, was a very goofy man in real life.
Yes.
Very goofy. Like
childish.
How he went through life is astounding goofy.
I don't remember if he ever worked for. I know Perry did, but I don't remember Cronus. No, he had to have, because they used to come down to the old studio and do promo work.
Okay. But from what I heard, all accounts, Cronus was a very nice guy.
Very.
Very.
Perry was not.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Oof.
I'm sure there were a lot of people that said karma is a bitch when they found out about Perry living under a bridge in Minnesota.
Oof.
Not a neighbor of John Nord.
Well, could you imagine him? Well, I don't know if they would have known each other. They probably did at some point.
You think John ever drove by him under the bridge?
And Tom Zank was not far.
Yes, J.A., he's passed away. I want to thank you for greeting me. Well, Ken, how are you, buddy?
Cronus is dead, J.A. He's dead. He's been dead now for, God, about 15 years, I think.
It's not, it's not new. Perry, people thought was, because WWE owed him a good chunk of change.
I think I told you, I did a seminar with Perry Saturn at the Bell Time Club.
Yeah.
And Perry was nice, obviously humbled by life, but one thing I was a little bit surprised about was, how small he was. Not like he was the small, like Captain Lou's size, but he was definitely smaller than this. He was out of shape and he was small. He's not a very tall man either.
He was a homeless man that lived under a bridge.
Right.
What did you think? He was on the gas?
Well, he wasn't as tall. He was shorter than I realized, too. But he wasn't very tall to begin with, I realized later.
Yeah, no, he wasn't a big guy at all.
But when you look at old pictures of him, I mean, Perry was a thick, muscled up guy. He was probably a good 220 at one point.
Oh, yeah. He was all gassed up in WWF.
Looked great. But, it's funny. I don't think I told you this story. Do you remember Steve Bradley?
Oh, yeah.
Steve Bradley had
I'll tell you a funny story about him when you're done. But
well, back when before I went to Burns' school at 14, I did a fantasy camp at Steve Bradley's school in Manchester, New Hampshire. And Steve, Steve, I feel like everything I say, you just go, oh, gosh. Charlie,
I just know too many stories about people.
I know.
Anyway, continue.
But anyway, so I went to this fantasy, and he had a little school, and it was a nice school. Like it had it wasn't that bad, but it's funny because I've seen pictures of him beforehand, and he had the braids, the long hair, and I found out later he was the guy who helped train Kurt Angle, really. He helped bring Kurt Angle along, I guess, to what he...
Well, down in Memphis, yeah.
And they put him in Puerto Rico for like 2 years and forgot his ass or whatever. But I looked at pictures of him, and my dad and I were like, wow, look at this guy. And we met him. Now, these pictures are like from 99, 2000. We met him in 06. And he looked like a librarian with long hair that was braided. And that was the first time I realized, oh, yeah, steroids. Because he had gotten off. Because you remember how big he was back in the day.
I do.
And very nice guy. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. I would have trained there if I lived closer there. I was 14. I couldn't get to Manchester, New Hampshire from Lynn. That's the problem.
That would have been a tough commute at 14.
Yeah. If I lived in that area, I would have gone to see Bradley School, though.
Well, he might have come to pick you up if you ask politely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's the story you have about it?
Well, no, I tell you this. I consider myself indirectly responsible for him getting in that WWF position.
Really?
Well, see, he used to come to a lot of the shows with, I don't know if you'd remember the name. I think it was long before my time of watching, but Silvano Souza, who was an enhancement jobber of the area back in the days of the WWF, WWF, early 80s, late 70s, I believe. And just, you know.
Kind of like a Johnny Rods?
He was, huh?
Kind of like a Johnny Rods?
No. Well below the level of Johnny Rods.
Oh.
But he was one that was probably at this point in his 50s, and he kind of clung to a couple of the teenage type indie boy types. You know what I mean?
Clun as in help me get a spot, or clun as in hey?
I wanted to cling. You know?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
He had a basement.
And well, I don't think he wanted them in a basement. Maybe the boudoir, but you know, it made people feel awkward and uncomfortable, and they didn't. I remember Tony Rumble didn't want him around because of Souza. And I remember I thought Bradley had so much talent. He worked like RVD, which was his undoing because he wrestled too much like RVD when they brought RVD in.
But there wasn't a lot of RVDs back then, so it was unique.
So anyway, I really did. Then this was at a point when I really wouldn't, if I had an opinion, I would usually maybe share it and then keep it to myself. But I enjoyed Bradley so much. I thought Tony was nuts not to use him. Pushed and pushed and pushed. Eventually he brought Bradley back when Jim Cornette was coming in, when Cornette worked for The Office in WWF. And Cornette signed him after just seeing him on a couple of shows.
Really?
So
what was that, 97, 98?
97, yeah. So, you know, like I said, Steve Bradley's talent and Jim Cornette's eye for talent made it happen, but I don't know if Tony Rumble would have brought him back if I didn't pester him.
If it wasn't for Silvano Souza.
No, he would have been around constantly if it wasn't for Silvano Souza. He didn't want Souza around. Thought he was a pain in the ass. Well, in more ways than one. You know, and then he was trying to come up with angles for himself with him coming out with the clipboard scouting talent. You know what?
God.
Go scout your clipboard watching whatever Pornhub was back in 97.
Well,
you know what I mean?
VHS tapes.
Yeah, VHS tapes.
Well, I mean.
So, you know what? That hurt Bradley. Bradley could have signed sooner.
Well, why did he never get
and look at that. You talk about the tragedies of life that we've had in this business. Say Bradley got signed a couple of years sooner and made it to WWF television. And when they brought in Van Dam, it wasn't as much of a big of a deal that was going to cost him his spot ultimately in the end when he was in developmental and they had Rob Van Dam on the main roster. Maybe he doesn't kill himself at the end of the day. Maybe he's still alive.
You know, and that's the thing I'm trying to...
Because Souza he had impure thoughts.
Well, I can't, he killed himself. I forgot about that. I
think he was like right in front of his school or something like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what year that was.
I don't remember the year, but I thought it was sad. I didn't even know him particularly well. I just thought he was a great talent, and I thought Tony was nuts not to use him.
But the crazy thing is, I just never understood why he never got to the main roster. Because, yes.
Because of Rob Van Dam.
But it just
I know exactly why. I was there.
Just because of RVD, that was it? A lot of guys worked the same.
Maybe because Van Dam was such a unique entity.
No. I mean.
And to an extent, so was Steve. I think with Steve, you almost would have had to have, if that was their problem, you would have almost had to untrain him and start him from scratch.
But at the same time, though, and at that point, WCW had gone out, ECW was going out, because I heard he was in Puerto Rico for like 2 years. They just left him there.
I don't think it was that long.
Yeah, he was there for a while.
Well, the Eliminators with the win here and to kick off Barely Legal, the ECW Tag Team Champions, I don't think things are going to look good for the Stud Muffin, and I'm not talking about John C. Manicus Riley.
Yeah. Now, I wasn't a big fan of ECW. Obviously, I didn't really watch it. But I look back, I didn't like the idea that you could do anything. There was no DQs.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for that. You know, I don't know. I liked... I mean, I've told you a million times, I mean, I was watching other kinds of wrestling more than ECW. God, that looks like
John C., are you watching the pay-per-view? Have you ever seen ECW? Well, the only thing John C. thought was extreme was his hair. Now tonight he's watching a little barely legal from the ECW arena, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right down the street from two of my favorite places. Do you know what they are?
In Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Geno's?
In Pat's. I got to get one from each.
Geno's and Pat's when you go?
I do.
How good are they compared to a local sub shop around here? Because I like the steak bombs from around here.
Here's the thing. A lot of the people, and I guess it's not a true Philly cheesesteak unless you have the cheese whiz, but then I'm not having that.
Yeah.
I like regular cheese on it. But I think, I don't know.
See, I've heard the best cheesesteak places are like the little holes in the walls in Philly. They're not the Geno's or Pat's.
I've heard that too. Mm-hmm. My favorite probably of all time, though, at its peak under prior ownership, would be J&M steak and cheese subs. And I believe, is it Saugus?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I would get two of them.
But the steak subs around here are very good in this area.
All of them?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know about all of them, but like, for example, I mean, some are different than others. The way they shave their steak, the type of steak, how much cheese they use, things like that. But I'll have a steak bomb on occasion. When I was 15, my mom got me 6 of them for my birthday because I liked them that much.
6 of them?
Yeah.
How many did you eat?
I think I ate 4.
Why did she want you to have 6 steak and cheese subs?
You know, people had party subs, those big lawn subs. Oh, there's Balls Mahoney.
So instead of a big long one, she just said, well, we'll just get him 6
She couldn't find a long one, so she got 6 of them. So I had 6 of them going in.
Mrs. Wilson.
Yeah.
Someone that knows of the Manicuses.
Well, she Palu and Malu. And this is a guy.
Palu, certainly not to be confused with the menu at the Kowloon Entertainment Dining Complex.
Yeah, look at him. He looks like shit. I couldn't get some of these people. Like I swear, like I'm watching a bunch of backyarders.
Well, in someone like Sandman's cases, this is a guy the fans could look at and say, you know what, I could do this.
Like they're watching AEW.
That's what destroyed independent wrestling for many years, is that it turned into, not all of them, but a good portion of the independents all wanted to do hardcore garbage.
Yep.
Buildings hated it. They didn't want their venues destroyed with hardcore shit.
That's what Ring of Honor, I think, made them successful. They went more to a modern-day NWA style of feel. Who's this jabroni?
And what did it do for
Oh,
him?
Chris Candido.
What did it do for him?
What?
Ring of Honor.
Hey, they lost. They're still, well, not anymore, but they were running for a while. That was the hot
They were
India.
like Reno Chastain. Their hearts were beating about 4 times a minute.
I could tell you this. This is how I know I don't care for modern day wrestling. I wish you met me when I was a teenager, because I think you would have liked me. Not in that way, but I think you would have liked me. I could have told you about the independent scene far more at 14 to 17 back in 06 to 2009 than I could tell you anything about it now.
Other than what goes on in the world of Boston Wrestling, MWF.
Other than that, yes.
Like departed, well, that's going to sound wrong.
Like if you said, Charlie, 15-year-old Charlie Wilson, who are some of the best indie talent out there? I could name you like a dozen guys.
Recent WWE signee, Cole Carter, a man that competed at the 20th anniversary event Saturday night, November the 13th. Had a nice chat with him yesterday.
Very nice guy.
Was it yesterday? Yeah.
He had a little bit hurt at the show.
He was. Not like that song by Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
It's a different story for a different time.
He's not looking cross-eyed now, is he?
No, he doesn't have the HBK look yet, but hopefully he'll be trained by HBK. Yeah. I can't see him as someone that WWE would get rid of.
I don't think so. Speaking of guys who I heard were very nice, Chris Candido's in the ring. I heard he was a very nice man. Bit of a cuck, probably, but
he invested a lot of money in Ring of Honor travel that he was never reimbursed for.
I mean TNA?
No, ECW.
Oh, ECW.
Okay. Him and Sonny maxed out a lot of credit cards.
But what kind of mark move is that?
I don't know. Unless I was an owner of the company, why I would invest money in flying talent in.
You know, and I never understood why guys kept working. I mean, if a guy owes me $3,000, I'm not making it 5. I don't know.
You know, a lot of people have said, A, it depended on where on the card you were, and B, a lot of that was overhyped. Like Jim Mitchell, he said in his entire time there, he missed 3 checks.
Oh, right, and they would get paid down. I think he might have made them up. I think they might have made it up to him, except the last one.
No, I think whatever it was he didn't get, he said, you know what? For the exposure I got, it was worth the 3 checks.
You know, by the way, I finished. I don't sometimes watch all the interviews in order. Sometimes I go back and forth. I did watch all of his, and he's maybe, I'm not going to say my absolute favorite, but he's got to be top 3.
You like Jim Mitchell?
I love Jim Mitchell. Seems
well,
like,
if Justin Credible doesn't want to come back or wants to take his time.
I have one question for him I'd like to get
that?
answered. So everyone talks about Chris Kenyon's sexuality with him. Did you know he was gay? My question is, and you'll get a kick out of this, what kind of guys did Kenyon go for?
Really?
What kind of guys? Did he like the...
They have to invite him up.
What kind of guys?
I'd love to have Jim. Would you guys like to have Jim Mitchell here in the studio to talk a little Extreme Championship Wrestling, a little TNA,
great
a
manager,
little Smoky Mountain, a little NWA Power he's on now.
Oh, that would be good for him because he's a great manager, but he has to be presented right with the right package.
Yes.
You have to put him with the right kind of... Who's he with, wrestling-wise? Like, is he with a wrestler managing? He's not like managing, like, for example, Chris Adonis, Chris Masters. That wouldn't work. Or JTG, that wouldn't work. Could you imagine those two together getting... like him managing like a JTG, probably wouldn't work.
No, I don't remember who it is, but I remember seeing it.
Is it? You have to put him with
I said it fits.
You have to put him with like either a monster or a freak. You can't put him with Johnny
Not
Athlete.
a normal guy.
You can't put him with JTG or Chris Masters. It doesn't work. You can't put him with Nick Aldis as the NWA champion.
Right, exactly.
It just doesn't.
They have to be sinister, no pun intended, and evil.
Or like a clown freak show kind of thing. But.
Well, the pay-per-view debut here of Rob Van Dam taking on Lance Storm. It was scheduled to be, I believe, Candido in Storm. Rob Van Dam, I don't think, was on the original booking sheet, which he resented.
Gosh, these two. Now
I know we have a friend in the other room. Actually, you know what? Maybe this is a great time to bring him out. Should we introduce him?
I think that's a great idea.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring out to you Kevin Manicus Hart, if he's mic'd up. He's a big RVD fan. He went to WrestleMania 28 in Miami. I don't know if RVD was on that show. No, I think he was gone at that point. He was in TNA.
Hey, Phil is on the chat.
Phil! Where is he?
Phil says, Sinister Minister indeed.
I love the Sinister Minister. Craig, how are you, buddy?
Good.
Yeah, that's good. Walk in front of the hard
I was going to say, maybe you want to go behind the hard
What a video expert we have here. Well, when you're 6'4" like Kevin, I don't know if he's going to fit in the chair.
Yeah, sit next to me.
It's all right. He'll only grab you when the lights are off. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome to the show Kevin Manicus Hart. Kevin, a pleasure for you to join us.
Yes.
Native of Miami, Florida, and a big Rob Van Dam fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What part of are you from?
I feel like we're dealing with a foreigner. All he says is yeah.
What part of Miami are you from?
I'm from Miami Gardens.
At least I didn't say yeah to
right
that.
by the Hard Stadium.
Okay.
Like right there.
So you grew up there, born and raised?
Born and raised.
Cool, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Why you come up here to the cold and bitterness and the terrible people of New England? We're awful.
Well,
I mean, Exhibit A.
Yeah. You see, yeah. We all know that.
Mirad.
Well, I mean, I attended Emerson College, which is like 20 minutes away from here.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's why I'm here in
Flew
Boston.
in from Miami this
I
morning.
heard you flew in, and then he
believe
messaged
that?
me. I saw he came over 3 hours early, and I was like, you must have been bored.
I was,
Well,
I
either
was
that or
supposed
he
to come
put
at
the wrong
6.
time zone in
Then I
his
came at
phone.
3, yeah. So I was like, I have nothing to do. Come
Well-
over and
Well, that's
meet
cool.
you guys. Yeah.
Well, we're really glad to have you. I've been hearing so many good things
Likewise.
about you and how you're excited about wrestling and excited about coming here to the MWF studios.
Yes.
And it's been an interesting time, just from my experience here. What I've learned and what I've seen, the people I've met people like Dan, of course, Mirad. Mirad to you.
Yes.
Like Miro. You're like Miro's cousin.
I can't do the jump though because of my feet.
Yeah. The great Manicus C. Riley that
Mirad.
you've met in the other room.
John Manicus,
Yes.
John C.
Yeah.
Manicus
Yeah.
Riley.
And hopefully,
a real man.
if you're around tomorrow or later,
I'll be around tomorrow.
Okay,
We'll be here.
We've got Phil DeCesare,
Yes.
Rhymes
He's
of
heard about
Treasury.
it.
Wait, is this the guy that laughs?
He left. This is how Phil.
The laugh.
If you'll watch a show, maybe you'll watch any wrestler, and he could tell you like, back in 1981, here was watching WWF and old Vince Senior's territory.
And what does he think of this impersonation? Because isn't he on
lo-
now?
he
Like, what
loves
does
it.
He's one of our moderators right now.
Yeah.
We trust him
He loves
with
it.
the blue wrench.
Such a great guy. Such a great human being. Class guy.
If you screw with the chat, Cesare's going to give you the wrench.
He'll throw you into Cesare's domain. You don't want to be in there.
Cesare's going to smash you with the wrench and you're going in the trunk.
He's our new ring announcer, or he's going to be our new ring announcer.
That's what John Cena Sr. said, yes.
Oh my gosh. He's got a great voice for it.
A promo photo of him.
Phil Cesare, a voice a voice and face for radio, I would say.
Oh, you could say that,
No,
I guess.
he's a good-looking man. I like Phil. He's a great guy.
Can't wait to meet you, Phil.
He's a great human being.
No.
So we got RVD. You know what I always loved about RVD was his cool singlets. I love airbrush anything. Anything airbrush.
The tires, everything, but also this. It's the style. He has a very unique style. That's why they call him one of a kind. You've never seen anyone.
That's why they called him one of a kind.
That's
I thought it was
why they
maybe
call him
his
one of a kind.
beefy.
He had airbrushed
No.
tires.
Well, no,
It's
maybe
the style.
I was gonna say, Dan.
It's the fighting
I thought it was his beefy ass because that thing is like a donk. Look at it. It's just huge.
I never really thought of it like
Look
that.
at it right now.
Yeah,
Look at
you
that.
pointed it out. It is rather beefy.
It's
yeah.
pretty big. Rob is a thick guy. No one realizes this, you know.
And is he
remember-
always hot?
Well, I remember the
No,
time I had to
he's-
pull him out of a car in Long Island, New York, the Sunday before Christmas when we had him on the live event with our good friend Oscar of Men on a Mission.
Oh God, Oscar.
And the local promoter threw up all over herself from a night of binge drinking, and
Oh gosh.
so I had to kind of take the
What year
reins
was
real
this?
quick with Long Island, New York.
No, what year though?
I had Carmelo Hayes, and with me, so that was
Cam's 2015 maybe.
As a matter of fact, no, December 2014.
Okay.
Why anyone on earth would think running the Sunday before Christmas was a good idea when the Giants and the Jets were playing home,
Yep.
or one of the two of them was playing home.
Yep.
They were both on, I think, at 1 o'clock. It was just, it was a long day. It was a long day.
Not a good crowd.
That was just the beginning. Why I chose to get involved with that endeavor, it was one of a kind.
I could say that literally. I could say that about any of your pro wrestling endeavors. Why did you choose to get involved with this endeavor?
Well, you like Jim Mitchell.
Well, Jim Mitchell, he's one of my favorites to listen to talk because of the stories. He's captivating. I'm an ADD kid.
Okay.
So for me, I like people that can talk and they're captivating and they can say things, and maybe they're not true, but I like I like things. I like people that can talk. You know, I watch these interviews that Dan's produced, and he's done great work. And
Well, thank you.
Well, yeah, you're welcome. And you know, he's brought people that for the most part, I would say 90% of the time are very captivating individuals. They have a lot to say.
Yeah.
He'll ask some weird questions about Annie and whatnot. So, Bill Eady, do you have any stories about Annie?
Now, I'll ask
That's
you,
me.
Kevin. I know
Yeah.
you are relatively new to Boston, but
Yes, I am.
Have you met Annie?
Oh my God.
Have you ever been over to the Hilton?
Never.
No. All right. Well, she has a very special skill. I don't know from the
Whoa.
interviews that you've seen, if you're familiar with Marty Jannetty and several others, longtime close personal friend, Annie the Ass Eater.
Annie the Ass Eater.
Yes.
Which is not a big
She's
deal.
like Liam Neeson in Taken. She has a very special skill.
She's going to find you and she's going to eat your ass.
The Ass Eater.
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam would have been a favorite of hers. What's up with Rob Van Dam's tie? He's got some malfunction around. Is that a jock
It looks
strap?
like it's a little short.
Yeah, I see that.
That might be a jock strap on Rob. I don't
But
know.
see, notice, Hart has not answered.
What?
Well,
Oh, me?
Yes.
I've never.
No, he's never met Annie.
You've
I've never
never
met-
gone over to
never
the
met-
Hilton.
I've
met
never.
her. I
No,
never met
that's
her
not
either.
my style.
Yeah.
That's not my
That's
style.
not your style.
Well,
You
well,
turn,
no,
you
no,
turn
I
Annie
can't- I
down.
just-
I can't disclose that.
I'm
You
gonna let
turn
you know
Annie
this.
down.
I'm gonna let you know
But
this.
that is not my
Dan
style.
is obsessed with people's sexual lives.
Why
He's
do you say
obsessed.
that?
Have you ever gone over to that hill? Have you
been
done
to
that?
the
Do we
Hilton
ask
many
Dan these
times.
questions?
I have been to the Hilton many times.
Have you
yes.
sat on Annie's face?
No. Other than hello, I think that's about as far as Annie and I have gone. I have never gone the Greg Valentine way, the Barry Windham way, the Shawn Michaels way, amongst many of the other famous asses that she's got to know. Billy Gunn was the ass man. That's who they should have paired him with.
Or as
as a
Danhausen
valet.
calls him, Billy Ass.
Who?
Danhausen. Do you
Is
know
that what he
who
calls
Danhausen
him?
is?
Billy S?
You'd like Danhausen. He's a guy. He paints his face and he
Count
talks.
Chocula.
He talks like he's like Danhausen, very nice, very evil. I throw a bag of teeth on my opponent. And it's very funny.
Bag of teeth?
Yeah, it's a very goofy gimmick. I love it. I never want to see him wrestle or without the paint, but like as a character on a show, Like
You
I
love it.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
one of those characters,
because he's very different, and it's comedy that's funny, but you never look at. It's not like you watch it 5 times and it's boring. He's very entertaining, and like someone interviewed him without his paint on. I'm like, I never want to see it.
Right.
I want to see you with the paint. I don't want to see you wrestling for the world champion. I want to see you beat up someone like a manager, you know, and throw teeth on like a woman or something like that. I want to
Like
see.
John Nord.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but I want to see that. But he's very entertaining. I think he'll be going to AEW at some point, probably. Now, Ring of Honor doesn't really have anyone on their roster anymore.
Are you big into AEW?
I don't particularly care for it. I've heard they've gotten better, but every time I watch it, I feel like they'll do something interesting, and then they do something that I don't particularly like. So I was watching, for example, was it Bear Bronson versus Hook? A couple weeks back, they have that guy Hook.
Yeah, Hook.
Hook is like the very pretty boy.
Not to
son
be
of-
confused with Dustin Hoffman.
Marati, I love you for that reference.
All right, well, Jimmy Hook, baby.
He looks more like Ruffalo than
Yes.
than Hook. so Hook is like Taz's son. He's got the pretty hair. He looks like a guy that should be in a movie. He's very handsome looking. He's very thin, like lean and tight looking.
Yeah.
And he like Bear Bronson's like this big giant guy, and he gives him a pile driver, and Hook just doesn't sell it. And everyone's like, oh, what a badass.
God.
And I'm like, takes me out of it. Like, and once I'm taken out of a match or an angle or a storyline, it's hard for me to get. It's like a movie. I can watch Dr. Dolittle talk to animals because that's the premise going in. But if you present it as a serious, like Liam Neeson in Taken, then he talks to the duck at the pond,
No.
I'm out of it.
Nah, I'm completely
out of it. So
obviously.
wrestling for me, I'm a little bit of a I love it when it's done well.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like again.
Is it the look of that? Because I've known like
Darby Allin is talented.
Darby's great.
But I'm not
Darby's
a fan
great.
because he's so small. He looks so small. He looks like a kid at Hot Topic. Like bought half the clearance section.
Skateboard, yeah.
And it's just he's too small for me to like
to take serious?
Yeah,
Okay.
if Rey Mysterio wrestled in a way that I believed in, and he was
Because
quick.
he had that background of
and he had a
lucha
character. And
yeah.
this guy to me is like the Hot Topic twink that like I don't know. If you like him, that's cool. It's not for me.
Darby, he's really like crazy in the ring. Like I think he would have done good in ECW.
Probably, but like I don't.
I gave him that.
But he's got no real character. He's just a brooding guy. He just doesn't really talk. And to me, it's like Sting looks like his grandfather. I don't know. Like Vampiro, they need to get Vampiro to make
That's
that.
good.
You know,
That's good.
That 3 generations thing.
Yeah.
But they've got people there. I think.
You were talking about like a few hours ago. You were talking about the women in AEW, and you were saying like
they're all kind of.
they're all like
interchangeable.
Instagram models, right?
They're all kind of, but
Yeah.
all the women are on Instagram. They're all beautiful. They're all gorgeous. But none of them are the women in wrestling today.
No.
All of them are.
No.
All of them are.
No.
They all look the same, with
No.
the exception of a few. With the exception of a
Yeah.
few.
It's not all of them though.
Most of them. Most of them look like. Look, okay, I'll go through the list. Sasha Banks.
No, you better not throw
Sasha
the boss
Banks-
in there.
She's
Don't
a beautiful
throw the
woman.
boss.
I'm not saying she's not a beautiful woman. She's a beautiful
She's
woman.
She is not an Instagram model. She doesn't-
MWF alumni.
She looks like
FYI.
an Instagram model.
Sasha Banks?
We actually know a
is.
gentleman who
Are you
said that
serious?
they had
Yes,
some sexual
Kevin.
attention, which is funny as hell.
I thought Sasha was just...
Glance said that they had sexual attention. We know this guy. He looked like he came out of the
A
Valvoline.
garbage can, like Oscar Crouch.
And he used to train with Sasha Banks. He's like, we had some tension. I'm like, what?
We had some
What?
tension. Shit, her
No, but
nose was probably tense at the smell of plants when they would drive
You
to
have to
the
take
school
back
together
Sasha, though.
with
I'm not
Sonny
gonna let
Lee
you
She's a
ride with that
beautiful
one.
girl. She's a
I'm
beautiful
not
girl.
gonna let you ride with
What's
that
wrong
one.
with that? I
No.
said she's a beautiful girl.
No.
What am I saying?
Maurice would have been a better...
Okay, Maurice, whatever.
Maurice would have been a better,
All right,
name drop, but not Sasha.
I think Sasha's a talented girl.
She's a student.
But she seems like a girl that's like I've seen her for years, and so it's nothing new. Like she changes her hair, and I'm like, what else is there? You know what I mean? Like these people have been around so long now. Some of them,
It's true.
you know. But okay, I'll give you another one. I think what's her name?
Is she new?
Is that Tegan Knox?
Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox looks to be like Britt Baker. Looks
Britt
like Chelsea
Baker.
Green. Those girls all kind of look the same to me.
Chelsea
Thunder
Green
Rosa
was-
sticks out. Thunder Rosa sticks out with the paint.
Yeah.
Who was the other girl next to Io Shirai? Is that her name?
Io Shirai.
Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch to me are just You've seen him all over TV for like 8 years.
Charlotte
straight.
is the most overused, like, superstar we've ever seen. Sorry.
Do you agree, Dave?
Overused.
Charlotte Flair is the most overused wrestler of the last.
She's one of them.
Yeah.
She's one of them, for sure.
I could tell you this, for a long time, Sasha Banks would get a title, and it seemed like she was dropping it to Charlotte. And I thought,
I don't know what
That
that
was
is,
the
man.
feud that would never end.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Like, even with the Bianca situation, she dropped it to Becky. Like,
Bianca's really talented.
Bianca's a goat.
Do you think if she got like hammered?
strength.
Do you think if like
if
someone
that's strong,
do you think if she got H-bombed?
She'll pick you up, Dan.
What's that now?
She'll pick you up.
You think Bianca Belair
Of
could
course.
pick me
She
up?
picked up Otis.
Do you think?
Well, I'm not as big.
She'll probably pick up
She
all three of
picked
us
up Otis.
at the same time. Yeah, remember she picked up Otis
Do you think that?
during that challenge?
Do you think that?
I
Picked up
remember
Otis.
that.
Yeah, she picked up Otis.
Do you think if someone H-bombed Bianca Belair and cut her Q off, how long it would take?
I don't think that's real.
You think that's an extension?
No,
It
I
probably
think
is,
it's like
yeah.
Damien.
fake.
I think.
Yeah. But if she cut, if
It's
we
part
cut
of
it,
the gimmick.
if they cut it
Little
right
swing
here
with
and she had
the
no more hair, she had short hair, she'd be like you. She'd have like a little line in there. But some of them but they're great athletes. But now WWE is trying to bring in all these athletes.
I'll say
They're
this.
like, this guy played kickball in the 6th grade. Let's sign him up.
She's grown on me this year.
Like a fungus.
Bianca.
She works
like
hard.
a fungus.
She works
Works
hard.
very hard.
She's
She's
in
a very
fantastic
nice
shape.
person,
Yeah.
from what I'm told.
Yeah. She's amazing.
I wish her success. She's by far the worst one they have on the roster.
She's by far?
By far, and maybe I said that wrong.
Yeah, you did.
She's by far not the
Not
worst
the
one
worst.
on the roster.
Who is the worst on the roster, you think?
Oh, Jesus Christ, where would I begin?
As far as women or just in general? As far as women, we're talking women, okay.
Well, who do you dislike on the roster? Women or male? Who do you think is not very good?
God, I have to think
I
about
don't.
Dan knows some of my favorites. I could tell you for WWE, I think I'm a Miz guy. I like Miz a lot. I think he's
Miz
good.
is cool. Miz is cool. He
think
has a
he's
really
great.
good work ethic.
Yeah.
Miz is good.
I like Miz.
Miz is good. Miz
I
is someone
like-
you always see.
I think Chad Gable is super underused.
He's
Chad
not a
Gable.
woman, believe
Chad
it.
Gable?
Yeah.
He's
Chad
not a
Gable?
woman.
Huh?
He's not a woman.
Well, he's underused.
Oh, you'll use
I
him,
didn't think you were
all right.
saying Chad Gable.
Chad Gable's good.
He is.
Chad Gable's like
He is.
He's good.
Who was he?
Other
Jason
than Otis,
No,
look
they're
at,
gonna-
look
Jason
at
Jordan
how
was
great
the-
every tag team he's been in.
Huh?
Other than Otis, look at how great he's been with every tag team he's been
Yeah.
in.
Like
Bobby Roode,
No,
Jason Jordan.
They're
Yeah.
gonna what happens when they bring in Gable Stevenson? And that he's gonna be Chad Gable.
He could be
Gable.
We'll give you a 90-day sentence package.
Oh, because Gable Stevenson, that dude, they're gonna push him to the moon when he gets in there. Right now, I think the face of that company is gonna be Braun in like 3 years.
Braun?
Braun Breaker is gonna be he's the guy. He's what a wrestler should be. Like I look at guys like Darby and Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara on that channel, and then on this channel you got Braun Breaker, and I'm like, that's the dude that's gonna get people to watch. The other guys are more of a niche audience. So that's how I look at it. Because Braun Breaker, if I walked into an alley and Braun Breaker grabbed me by like the waist, I'd be kind of like squealing. The other guys, I'd be like, what are you doing? Get away. Like,
Get away.
shoot.
Get away.
Go. shoot.
Like a little fly.
Yeah, I'd be,
I don't know, but going back to Darby, I don't know. Like I've always seen him like I think
he's a hard worker.
if ECW came back around, I think he will excel in ECW.
Yeah.
Darby.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think with the style ECW was and just
Yeah,
everything it was, I
I'd
think Darby will be.
I agree.
now it's
really good at
amazing. Do you know where this match actually took place? Before this?
No.
In Revere?
The Chelsea Armory.
The Chelsea Arm? This
The
exact
Chelsea-
match?
Yes, it was for Tony Rumble, Century Wrestling Alliance. They were in town for 3 days. They did 2 ECW house shows, and they did Tony's show in Chelsea on the Sunday.
What year was this?
This was February of '97.
Okay.
And Paul Heyman liked it so much, he decided to add it to his pay-per-view as a special attraction.
Did you like this kind of wrestling at that time?
Japanese wrestling?
Well, the style that they were presenting in this match. Because it was different than probably what you had seen at least.
Yeah.
It was very
Yeah.
different. Yeah, I remember really enjoying it on when it was on Tony's live event. I remember this worthless sack of shit that Phil got a T-shirt from, but we're not going to mention his name. But he was offended that the Jackal, when he did the commentary on the match for Tony Rumble's CWA Mass Madness, didn't get all the names right. Well, the only problem was he wasn't given a list of names as to who they were. I mean, it's not like Michinoku Pro was New Japan at the time. You know what I mean?
And even if it was New Japan, who would necessarily know all of the guys?
Well, so I think the Jackal wanted to slit his throat, and he wished him death.
Yeah. You know, I'm Dan and I are like very similar. Like we like everyone, but if you mess with us, we wish you have Lou Gehrig's. We're very like, hey, once you cross us once, you know. I know Dan's been crossed a few times. He's like Shawn Michaels' eyes. You know, he's gonna be...
What do you think of some of that is birdseed sized teeth?
my Lord.
When he said that today, I died.
Yeah. But we know someone
I
that
died.
has
I came
them.
back to life. That was hilarious.
We know someone that has them.
Yeah.
They're like little pellets.
He's a nice guy at heart.
It's like if someone took a hammer to a box of Tic Tacs,
Oh my gosh.
and the bits just were put together in a mouth. But anyway, is Kevin Manicus gets a chuckle out of these birdseed
No,
sized
that was
teeth.
funny.
So
What were you gonna?
Because I've never heard anyone like say it like that. You know what I mean?
He's
It's like
he's a nice
so
fella.
like someone would say you got fucked up teeth, but not like bird. like Dan makes it so comical.
God damn, boy, look at your teeth. No, but he's
It's
a
like they
nice
went
guy.
to Petco.
He's a nice guy.
No, he's not. He's actually
Well,
another sack of shit
I think he's a nice person
that
at heart.
weighs about as
but-
much as less
but-
than the average bowel movement.
But he
with the hat that he got on Vistaprint for $5
from Palu.
from Palu. Not to be confused with the menu at Kowloon.
Who has you ever watched? Oh God, you know what that reminds me? You ever watched a show called Samurai Jack?
No.
I'm trying. There was an old villain, and he had a name similar to Palu, but I can't remember what it was. I have to look that up. I might have to look it up because I think you'll hear it. And you'll
I
hear
don't think you should be saying that, child.
Haku. Yes.
Haku?
Aku.
Aku.
Thank you. Aku. Not to be confused with Haku, who the legendary badass, who John Nord does not think is a badass, by the way, which is mind-boggling, Johnny. You were talking to him about Haku.
Who?
John Nord does not think Haku is a badass.
No, John Nord said he took Haku in Japan.
I don't think that. I love Johnny, but I don't agree. I don't think that happened.
Well, 2 weeks from tonight, the
Well, I do have a
fans
question
can
for the
ask
both of you
John.
guys. So, like, as wrestling fans, have you guys ever thought about being wrestlers? Like when you were like getting
I
to like
trained for a
wrestling?
while. I trained for a while.
Really?
And,
Where?
and I trained in a couple places around here for a couple different years. And I think for me,
Couple of different years.
well, a few
couple
different
of-
years.
You really
couple different
describe
places.
that in an interesting way.
Well, I trained from
Couple
06
different
to 09,
places,
and then
couple
later
different
on
years.
after as I got older. But for my thing is, I couldn't.
How old are you now?
Guess.
he actually got me right on the first
I
guess.
got
I couldn't believe it.
I got Dan right. Okay, let me see. 20.
As we enjoy this Michinoku Pro
21.
6-man
No,
tag team
29.
extravaganza.
29.
29, man.
You're 29.
29.
Crazy. I would not have guessed that.
29. But anyway.
How old
You have
would
young energy.
how
I
old
mean,
would-
29 is young, but like you have like younger energy.
Oh, thank you. I turned 30 in 2 months.
That's what
I
Avi
feel
said,
feel
but
good.
anyway.
Oh, I feel pretty good.
Now, how old would you think John C. Manicus Riley is?
I'll be right
Oh,
back. I'm gonna grab a.
We're the same age. We already had that talk. We're the same age.
You're
so
right.
that
no,
I can't
no,
guess.
you're not. Manicus is legal enough.
But Dan,
that Manicus is legal enough
have you
for
wanted to be a wrestler
beverage.
before though?
I wanted to until the late great Captain Lou Albano convinced me otherwise. I worked with I didn't want to start to do it until I was done with high school.
Okay.
And Lou Albano talked me out of it.
And why? Like,
Do you
why
know
do you
who
talk
Captain
to?
Lou Albano is?
Don't know who that is.
Oh.
Don't know who that is.
If you like rubber bands, you should really know who Lou Albano is.
He's a
Don't
man
know who
that
that is.
partially was. If you go back in history, if you look at WrestleMania 1, if it wasn't for him, you may not have ever had Cyndi Lauper. Look at the part he played in that big event.
The Rock and Wrestling connection of the '80s. Captain Lou had a bit of a with Cyndi Lauper and WrestleMania 1 and the build-up, which is really what made WWF really pop.
right.
If WrestleMania 1 was a failure, that company, I don't know if it would have gone out of business per se, but it would have definitely been hit.
No. You want to know why they weren't going to go out of business? Because they had NBC 6 weeks later. You know what I mean?
Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Was
what
that,
they
Orton?
have been doing as well?
Did we do a watch on that one? Orton and Hogan?
Oh, look at that.
Was that the main event on the first one?
Might have been. Or it definitely wasn't Orndorff. Orndorff hadn't turned heel yet.
No.
Look at that.
No,
I've been in
Orndorff
that
just
before.
turned babyface at WrestleMania
But
1.
I thought about being a wrestler, but I couldn't deal with you have to pay your dues and you have to go through all those things and the low payoffs and the driving and the bumps and the injuries and there's so many
it's a lot of
things.
wear and tear.
It's a lot of wear and tear, and I just a lot of driving the car and going to places, and I didn't want to deal with the quote unquote bullshit of it all. And the wrestling business now has changed so much. I don't really like how it's presented. I feel like it's almost like people are pretending and they're doing it for the pop. Well, back in the day, it used to be to draw money. It used to be to present something that was real, and now it's just, we're pretending, follow me on Twitter. And it's like, I'd rather be a porn star than a wrestler at this point, I'd rather be an OnlyFans or something. I feel like my body would be a little bit more salvageable by the time I'm 40. I don't have because every wrestler after a while has a bad knee, a bad shoulder, bad neck. One of the three, or at least one of the three. It's a lot, and I love wrestling. I love being in the ring. When you could create something, I did this a few times, when you could create a good match and get the people riled up or into you, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
It really is. And I never really wrestled like I was never a great athlete. I could do a couple things, like I could do a drop kick and like a...
Yeah, so when you did train, what did you do?
I could do a drop kick. I could do like a...
Charlie, almost you describing yourself like the Dynamite Kid the way you're
Well,
going.
I could do a drop kick. I wasn't doing a drop. I wasn't, dropping off the top and then doing a kip up.
Okay.
But I could do like the old school like Tito Santana style running drop kick. Remember, he'd run off the ropes or something like that. I could do a cross body. I used to do a crucifix sunset flip where they go in the crucifix spin and spin. I had a little bit of movement. As a smaller guy, you have to really be athletic, more so I think than a bigger guy. And wrestling has gotten so small. And I felt for me, I was always smaller. Like I'm like 5'7.5". I fluctuated between like 150 and 200 my whole adult life. So like to me, I always knew I was smaller. I knew from a kid I wasn't going to be a big person. I was just going to go fatter or thinner. I wasn't really going to, you can take all the steroids in the world, but you're 5'7", you're 5'7". You might go from 160 to 220, but you're still there. So
wait a minute. Anna Malucci, longtime wrestling fan, going back to the days of Tony Rumble, said if Kevin Manicus Hart doesn't know who Lou Albano is, he has no business being here.
We got a hater
calling
already.
me out.
The first thing got a hater.
Dang. Sorry, man.
Colton, I'm glad you're here. Steve, happy New Year to you.
It's fine. I came the first day. Someone called me a soy boy, and I was like,
soy boy.
What is a soy boy?
I had my fake Birkenstocks and bracelets on.
Soy boy.
I was a soy boy. So
I know somebody
what is
who
a
has
soy
that.
boy?
It's like someone who drinks soy milk. It's basically like an effeminate person.
Like Lou.
Well, I'm not gonna besmirch the name of Lou in that regard.
No. How big do you think his toothbrush is? I think it's a small toothbrush. Remember those little characters, little people that you used to get as a kid?
We actually bumped into a couple of kids, and they were eye to eye with each other.
Who, Lou and...
the small child.
In the teeth?
Well, Lou and a couple of kids. They were talking to us, and the funny thing was...
Where did you meet these children?
So I have to preface, I'm sorry. So
This is almost sounding wrong.
We had a show in November that was, I don't know if we'd call it success. Would you call November 13th a success? It was a mixed bag.
If everything is what it is, I will say yes.
I felt
but still at this point, I can't say for sure.
I felt it was a mixed bag. Not your fault, but I thought it was a mixed bag, in my opinion.
Well, I think the wrestling was good, and I think as far as if the tickets are
what they are,
then it was a great success.
But you had things that didn't necessarily go to plan.
Yeah,
and
Medusa.
I think,
and her horse face.
Oh, she was a lovely...
Yeah. She was lovely for her. Well, we were talking about Ocala earlier, yeah.
Yeah, we
the
were talking
home
about, we
of
had that
horses
conversation.
in Florida, so maybe...
But if you're from Miami, Ocala doesn't
You don't
matter.
want to ride horses.
Right. You're just going they past Naples. You're like, what's going on up there, man?
Past Naples,
My uncle has a place in Naples. I went down.
Naples nice.
It's
I've been
boring.
there before.
It's nice.
It's boring. It's
boring as shit.
Yes,
it's a bunch of old rich people, and it's just like it's a beach, and it's like a
It's
Hooters,
really boring.
and like some stores, and like there's not a lot. It's really lovely to be there to lie on a beach. Other than that,
Nice scenery, for
like
sure.
if I was going to move to Naples or to Florida, I would not move to Naples because A, I couldn't afford it, and B, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to like the Panhandle. I'd rather go to Central Florida. I'd rather not Naples.
Nah, Naples is
Phil
boring.
said,
Naples
I used
is
to
so boring,
fantasize
man.
about riding my bike to the Worcester Airport as a kid and taking a plane to Atlanta for the Omni. Now, that's a dedicated fan of Georgia Championship Wrestling.
What else did you fantasize about when it came to Georgia Championship Wrestling?
He talked
Bill?
a little bit about Buzz Sawyer,
Was
too.
it Tommy Rich? He was more of a Buzz Sawyer was excellent, though.
He said,
so in
how
all
great
honesty,
were Buzz Sawyer's promos with Gordon?
If you want to watch an interesting match, I don't know how familiar you are. There's a match somewhere. It's Buzz Sawyer and Terry Taylor versus Arn and Ole Anderson. It's really good. There's not a lot of high spots, but it's really different than anything you'll see today.
Okay.
Really good. It's like from 1985, I think it is. It's really good. It's on YouTube somewhere. Excellent. I think it's in 2 different parts, but really good match. But yeah, I liked being in the wrestling ring. It was fun. I know Dan. I think Dan would be an interesting wrestler. I think you would. What would you be as a wrestler?
Yeah.
What would your name be?
That's a good
Dan
question.
Murad?
And what would your gimmick be like? Like,
Yeah.
who are you?
They
be?
have to be a heel.
Yeah, because you're a natural heel. You're a detestable human being.
What do you mean I'm a detestable human being?
I think you'd be good as a heel.
Are you kidding me? I
You'd
get
be good as a
text
heel.
I get
But like a
text messages-
tweener, maybe. I don't know.
I get text messages every day from him basically shitting on people. Just
That's
burying
just to
people.
try and make you laugh while you're at work.
Oh, it's even after work. You
And
just,
well, when you're at home, too, you need to laugh. At least that's what Kevin Manicus Hart told me.
So we have a guy, he loves to watch the show, and he loves to go on Facebook and he takes pictures of people at conventions, and he goes on Facebook and he'll give the whole life. Like he'll
He
give
goes a
all their
little overboard on those descriptions.
He'll go on the descriptions, and he'll go, "This is so and so," like an announcer, and he sends me a picture, and he says it's like an obituary before you die. I was at work. I laughed so hard. My manager said, "What are you laughing about?" And I said, "You know what? I gotta go
You
to the
wouldn't
bathroom."
get it. You wouldn't
I gotta
get
step
it.
out
You
for a
have
little
to
bit.
meet him to get it, and I gotta hang out with him soon. I'll probably be up in a basement
Well,
somewhere.
no, that won't break your heart.
But no, and I think the interesting thing about wrestling is kind of like
You're a great wrestling fan, though. I'll say that about it.
yes, and I think too. I got into wrestling initially when I was 14.
Okay.
That was when I first started training, and he was 13 when he was
Yeah.
first introduced. And when you're introduced,
93.
you're indoctrinated, we'll call it, into at a young age. You kind of look at life differently, like everything. And I think Dan can attest this even more than me. You kind of look at the way the world works a little bit differently.
Yes.
Everything's more of a quote unquote work. Nothing really means as much. It's not as serious as you think. And in wrestling, the people are very like-minded. Like, he can say a joke that 99% of the people would think is detestable. And I think it's hilarious because we have this fucked up
Right.
mentality about life. You know? Yes, we still have feelings and emotions. And if something happens that's sad, but we can at least look at the positives.
The
about
positives,
it,
right.
You know? Gosh, I mean, what happened? I'm trying to think of something. I mean, you say things to me every day that I think are funny. I'll never let anyone know about it because they'll probably think I'm a terrible human being. But
Phil said his sister, who isn't a wrestling fan, loved Tommy Rich and had a shirt of him made.
how big
Back
was
before
Tommy
you
Rich?
could buy them, I could guess.
How big was Tommy Rich back in the late
Ooh.
70s, early 80s with TBS? I heard he
Down
was
there?
DDT.
Oh, huge.
But I heard TBS.
Huge.
He was even up here because of the network, right? In Michigan and Ohio, they were doing tours in Michigan and Ohio.
I don't know. Phil would probably know better than me. I don't think we had TBS up
But
here.
Georgia was so popular, I heard in Ohio that they went up there.
it did go in Ohio and
Michigan.
and
Yep.
because they'd get a lot of fan mail back when people would write letters.
And I think they even went up with a crew.
Well,
and-
Matthew, we have something in common. I do too.
what did Matthew do?
He said, I like when people die.
Sometimes Dan will say, "Do you hear so and so die?" I'd be like, "That's crazy." And he'll go, "Yeah, fuck him."
Well, there's
I'll
a lot
say-
of assholes in the world.
I'll say
and
my
that time
reaction.
will come at some point.
Hey, I say things like someone said to me the other day. My friend had an issue with fraudulency, and someone wrote a check in his name, and I said, "I hope the asshole gets Lou Gehrig's." You know?
Oh, wait a minute.
I'm sure Dan has said that about many people in the wrestling
Wait a
business.
minute. This compliment paid your way, CW. It says Ugg Boots guy is thick as fuck.
Who's this?
Craig.
Who's Craig?
Craig Badway.
Craig Badway?
He said you got an RVD.
Thinks you're
ad,
pretty thick.
He said.
We can't
Well,
see
you
my
are
ass.
on the gas, but
A little bit. Dan always thinks I'm on the gas, which is, depending on how gassy I feel that day, what I've eaten.
That was good.
Phil, what year could you start watching TBS?
Thank you, Craig. Appreciate that.
Quincy had it in 81. Now, are you talking about the city or Quincy Rastani? Do you think Quincy would have enjoyed Georgia Championship wrestling?
Could you imagine watching Buzz Sawyer? This is for the kids, Buzz. You haven't met Quincy. Quincy.
No,
is
I haven't.
So Quincy is.
I heard a lot about Quincy from
at one point,
John in there.
So Quincy is how can I explain this? I'll put it this way: the show that we did in November, Quincy wanted to attend. Now Quincy rides an old motorcycle.
1978 Honda Matic.
Yeah,
And he drinks milk.
He drinks a lot of milk and
lot of
bugles
milk.
and.
Why?
Bugles and milk? I don't know, but he's been coughing.
It's his favorite. And he's been coughing from it for about 8 years now.
Some people would think that Dan takes advantage of Quincy, but I think if anything, it gives Quincy more life. I think it extends his life. But he comes up to me and he goes, he shakes my hand. He goes, I understood that someone would give me a ride to the building, and he's looking right at me in the eyes, and I was like, is that gonna be me? And he's like, Marati, you didn't talk to these people about giving me a ride to the building?
Who did he call Marati?
You. He was like, Marati, you didn't tell anyone about my ride?
But who did he think was me?
You.
I wasn't there.
No, it was right here. You remember how he was in front of me and we were doing a watch along? He shook my hand. He said, it's nice to, he said, are you going to be giving me, he's like, someone's going to be giving me a ride to the building, right?
I can't remember what he says. It's in one ear and out the other with most of
He does Quincy's Wrestling Challenge on Thursdays.
I'm sure Kevin has enjoyed several episodes.
Well,
He's outdrawn Oscar from Men on a Mission.
Well, that's not hard to do. God, Oscar, oof, not pleasant. Medusa could be. We could say what we want about her, and she wasn't pleasant all the time. But Oscar was a little. Oscar was a little bit of a pain.
Have you heard of Oscar of Men on a Mission?
He was the rapper in Men on a Mission.
No. Kevin, have you ever heard of Men on a Mission?
No.
No.
Never heard of Men on a Mission.
I guess that takes Oscar out of the equation.
I don't know.
Well, they were.
But like, what's that about? Like, what? Like, is it?
He was just.
Is he good?
He was just. I mean, he was just a big guy.
He almost blew the roof off of Madison Square Garden at WrestleMania 10 during his rap entrance for Men on a Mission. But on November the 13th, apparently he wasn't ready to blow the roof off of Memorial Hall. For a roof that would have been easy to blow off. I think it's held down by Scotch tape. You look like you're in deep thought right now. Either that or you're really enjoying the Michinoku.
I really never cared for ECW much, so I'm just sort of just taking this in as a first time.
Oh, well, when we were going over the different options, you could have said no.
I didn't care really, no matter. I just never watched ECW. I want to give it a shot. I was never a huge ECW guy.
Fan?
I just, sometimes it's very, what's it called?
I mean, that's how I got into RVD, of course.
I just didn't like how there was no rules. It was just all too Wild West. Is this Steven Richards?
Yes, it is. Or Stevie Richards back then.
I like Stevie Richards a lot.
I did too.
Seems like a nice guy too, from all accounts, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, it looks like you were thinking about something. No. No weird inside story.
No, nothing. I'm not going to drive him out.
What happened?
He just said, yeah.
I don't know. I have nothing to drive him out with.
Oh, I think you said you're not going to drive him out. Like, I have info, but I'm not going to.
I didn't like the way he left, and then I don't like the way WCW treats me. Let me go back to ECW 6 months later.
No, that's not your business.
No, I don't think it was good for the business of ECW.
Well, what was? Paul E. wasn't.
Ooh.
Hart knows less than Quincy.
Oof.
Wait a minute, Matt. Come
Wasn't
on
good with the checkbook.
now.
That's all I'll say. Paul Heyman's the biggest hustler I've ever met.
I won't go that far. I won't go that far.
What, Paul Heyman?
Well, I respect Matt Kocher, but he said
what's your thoughts
Hart
on
knows less than Quincy.
Who knows? Really?
Hart.
We should have a debate, a Kevin Hart, Quincy Rastani debate, a Raekwon versus Quincy.
It's a full name. Wow.
Well, Adam, you
Wow.
got to realize something. Hart isn't exactly an old timer like us. He's
not really old timer. Yeah.
well, you
Not that much.
you
I had to do
started
more homework.
You're young. You're what, 20?
I'm 20.
you started watching when you were about 5. A big RVD. And
No,
Reigns-
like 8. Like 8,
Oh,
9.
8.
8,
Oh, well,
9.
all right, I gave you too much credit then. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
5. What?
You were at WrestleMania 28
28. That was the only WrestleMania I've been to. by
in
the way.
Miami, Florida.
Yep.
I like
Right
how
at the Sun Life Stadium when it used to be called
I
Sun
like
Life
how they
Stadium.
try to promote it as Rock. So, who you got to cheer for? And they did in Miami, and everyone's like Rock. Even though is Rock really?
I mean, I was going for the walk
is
for
Rock
sure.
really even from Miami? Because like he.
No, he's well, he's not
moved
from Miami. No, he wasn't born in Miami. He went to school in Miami. He went to UM.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
play
why they
football.
always just said
Yeah.
Miami because he went to college there and he lived there as a teenager.
Right. And that's kind of, and I think that's where he got his training from too. So he was kind of like built from Miami, which is, But I forgot where he was born. I'm not sure if anyone
It fit
knows.
his character to be built from Miami too. His character seemed like
As
opposed to like from Sioux Falls, The Rock.
right?
You know?
Like definitely not that.
Yeah, from East Bumfuck, Maine, The Rock. It wouldn't have worked.
Definitely didn't give that vibe. Man.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I kind of
Wait a minute. Whoa.
What?
I mean,
Whoa, what?
Phil DeCesare, can you please get rid of these two guests and let's do something exciting? SMM.
What, Phil?
DeCesare guy.
Who said this?
SMM. I'm gonna have those signs like they had the Cesaro section. We're gonna have the DeCesare section here in the studio.
You don't like us? What's
He doesn't
wrong?
like
I
us.
like everybody.
No, you don't.
Well, I like everybody
Dan,
in
yeah.
the studio.
Okay.
That's even debatable.
Well, except for someone that was here earlier.
Was that Winnie the Pooh?
I can name no names. I can name no names.
I like how they're trying to do a serious promo, and then they have a guy dressed up in
I couldn't stand Blue Meanie or the Nova nonsense. It took everything away. I thought Stevie Richards was excellent. When they did the nonsense with those two, I didn't like it.
Well, was he scheduled to win the ECW title at any point?
Who?
Steven Richards?
Did he?
Was he scheduled to win it? Because he got the neck injury. I think he was supposed to win this match. Has Terry Funk ever talked about it?
No.
When he dropped the barricade? Terry Funk shouldn't have done that in the first place. I thought that was a very sloppy thing on Terry Funk's part.
Well, he was busy humming Desperado. I don't know.
Oh, my horse is sick.
I was disappointed that Terry Funk wasn't part of Survivor Series 93 as he was going to be.
Did you ever go to any ECW shows?
Oh, all of them.
Oh, really? Did you like it?
Very much.
Why is that?
I thought the ambiance was great. It was the closest thing that reminded me of going to the old Boston Garden House shows.
I can't see you because I feel like you would have liked rules and order and all that.
Well, you know what? You kind of had to get past that.
That's what I'm having a hard time with sometimes, the lack of rules.
I think it was almost like
Phil's want to shut his TV off
watching
right now.
the death matches in Japan.
Okay.
You know,
it
it's
was
kind
a
of an
spectacle.
acquired taste.
Yeah.
It was something you kind of had to get used to. You know, there was some great talent in ECW. It was something different than what was on at a time when, my God, Raw and Nitro was so bad in '95. And that was when, well, no, ECW first ran at Champs Arena Thanksgiving weekend in November of 1995. That's when we first got to know a lot of the talent because we got them at the what's now the Holiday Inn Express across the street from Kowloon. And then the TV debuted in the fall of '96, and their first events up here were in Revere and Burlington in October of '96. And again, it was something different. It was, I mean, you know, Raw and Nitro were interesting, but, you know, they were doing things that were over the top, different, edgy. You know, to hear swearing like that, to see blood again after, you know, WWE banned it for several years. And WCW,
It was
you didn't
part of the
really see
culture.
it.
It was an extreme time in the culture, in the zeitgeist. They crowd out. And by the way, Shane Douglas looking great.
I think that's another reason why I liked it too. It was just really like raw.
Yeah,
I like that.
I was telling Dan, and granted you had to go kind of buy the DVDs to follow. I liked Ring of Honor a lot back then.
Ring of Honor.
Because that was more of an athletic, pure. They got rid of the gimmicky bullshit. They were just wrestling. You'd see guys wrestle for 45 minutes to an hour. They didn't really do a lot of heels and baby faces, but when someone was a heel, they were a heel, and they got over. I was a huge fan of a lot of those guys like Danielson and Joe and Punk. Some of the my Flair Steamboat matches are Joe and Punk.
What about them?
Did you ever see the 3 Samoa Joe CM Punk matches they had
No.
in Ring of Honor?
No.
That to me was a modern day Flair Steamboat.
Really?
They're very good from 2004.
Well, I respect
Excellent.
your opinion.
Well, what do you think about Joe's recent?
Well, I can tell you, they're letting go of the toilet paper guy down there. They're letting go of everyone. They let go of Road Dogg. They let go of his brother. If his dad was alive, they'd let go of him too, probably.
They take back his Hall of Fame ring.
What do you think about the ROAD OOG getting released? I know you and him.
I'd like him in the STUDIO.
I think it'd be a great STUDIO.
Yeah.
What about William Regal?
I think
Regal.
for in the studio
Or
just
anything.
Getting rid of him, I think, is a colossal mistake.
No, but to bring him in, or that would, I don't know if he's he's still in the States, right? Georgia? I think he might live
Yeah.
in. I think
Down there where Patera Rastani used to reside.
I still don't understand his origin story. You have to fill me in. Patera.
Oh, he came from Eleanor's womb. Is his origin story.
So he's his brother, Quincy?
Oh, yeah.
So Quincy has a real brother named Patera.
He's got two brothers in his... Well,
Or Julie
you
Earl.
met that Playboy centerfold.
Julie...
Oh,
In the rain.
Earl.
In the rain.
And you were ready to get wet with her, baby.
No, that's a different story, but okay. By the way, Shane Douglas with his slick back ponytail looks like me when I come out the shower. What is Francine on Ring Crew? That's how poor this company was. They couldn't afford to pay the ring crew. They had Francine do it. They said, "Get out there, whore."
It's not the only person that said that.
The 90s, when everyone had goatees and pierced ears.
Yeah.
The 90s.
That was the look, man.
You know? Like Braun Breaker, I look at him, he's got a tribal tag, the goatee and the short. I'm like, this guy looks like he's from 97. Look at him, he's great.
Do you guys enjoy the ECW theme more than today's modern 2022 wrestling?
Wow, this guy looked juiced to the gills. Pitbull 2,
Pitbull.
Anthony Durant. Was it Anthony Durante?
Yeah. I was never big on them.
Is this where Ryback gets his?
Yeah.
Well, the
Look,
Pitbull, Gary Wolf always seemed like a dick. From interviews, from what I've seen, he just seemed kind of like a. Oof, didn't want to go up there.
Other than maybe a handshake, I don't think I ever really had much interaction
Didn't
with
seem
him.
like a nice guy from what I've seen.
Shane Douglas, I thought, was a good guy.
Oh, Shane seems like a cool guy I'd like to meet. I'd like to meet Shane Douglas. Seems like a very respectful, smart individual, and
Speaks very highly of Kevin Manica's Hart.
really,
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
Really.
Yeah.
Did you meet Shane Douglas?
Yes.
What did you think about him?
Thought he was cool. I'm lying right now.
Okay. All right. Well, damn
I'm
lies.
going along with it.
Don't let a lie get in the way of a good story. You know.
Phil
You couldn't
said,
tell I'm lying either.
Bo-
I was going along with that.
Phil said, boy, Troy was on the gas then. I thought
Boy, Troy.
he said, boy, was Troy on the gas
Who's
then?
Troy?
Shane Douglas.
Oh, Troy.
I thought he was talking. He was
knew
talking about you.
I knew Troy back in '85 at Danucci's.
Adam, I have no beef with the competitors and the people that work with Ring of Honor. I just thought the people that started the company were complete and utter scumbags.
Was that Feinstein?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
But how is he? Here's what I don't understand. He had the thing where he was talking to the little boy, and he was talking about what he was going to do. But how did he get off and still have a career in the wrestling business? How did that work? He's still making videos. He's still putting out content.
How he got off is a different story for a different time. As far as legal
I
ramifications,
always wanted to meet Feinstein.
it was set up. It
Seems like a cool
was
guy.
a sting that was set up.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the police were involved or anything like that. This website wanted to try and catch pervs
Right, to catch
in
a
action.
predator.
And they got, from what I remember at the time, the police were bullshit that they set up this sting in the area without letting them know.
But how did he get off of it? That's the thing. How did he not go to prison?
Because the police weren't involved in any of this. This was all done by a website. I think it was called Perverted Justice.
Yes.
And one of the local TV stations down there. So the police weren't involved.
So basically they're saying that it wasn't official. He couldn't be going.
Right.
So
it was like committing a crime without the police knowing about
but
it.
how did he continue his career in wrestling with RF Studios?
Why people continued to take money from him, I guess, is a wrestling thing. It makes me sick. I think it's an embarrassment.
But here's the thing about wrestling. I've noticed this. There's always double standards, no matter what. For example, you remember Chris Adams? Gentleman
Oh,
Chris
yeah.
Adams? JR, I saw a clip. He talked about how he didn't care for Chris Adams because he beat his wife. Well, his best friend Stone Cold Steve Austin does not have the best track record with women. And maybe because Stone Cold happens to be arguably the best. I'm just saying.
What women?
Deborah McMichael?
What women?
Deborah McMichael. Didn't he beat Deborah McMichael?
Woman. And I don't know if beat is the right word. There was a physical altercation.
He hit her.
When she ripped his Brian Pillman gift off of his neck.
Oh.
The chain?
Yeah.
That nice chain that he always wore he's worn it for like 20 plus years.
No, I didn't count, but.
Well, he's probably had since the Hollywood Blondes days.
And I like Deborah McMichael an awful lot.
So you think if
I'm
someone
not
ripped the chain
excusing
off,
it.
you think someone? So are you saying that he had a?
I'm saying there's a difference between what may have been a one-time incident compared to beating people on a regular
But it
basis
happened multiple
in the
times.
basement.
Didn't it happen multiple times?
I only know of one. I know his issues were more of being caught with the beer cans open in the pickup truck.
She said that it was due to maybe drinking and steroids, which I could. Which, to be fair, now I've never met Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I've seen interviews from him, and I've heard of how he was.
Well, he's MWF alumni, baby.
Well,
we did the movie premiere, April of 2007, The Condemned.
Did you like being around Stone Cold?
Very much.
Well, this is what I will say. It seemed to me, from what I could tell, he was a little bit into his character during his run. And he was a little high-strung back in the day, maybe now more so than then. Which is not the first wrestler to do that. I feel like a lot of wrestlers back in the day were a little more high-strung.
And I will say this as someone that was around that company in 2000 and 2001. One of his biggest problems he had was her. And I think the world of Deborah McMichael.
What do you mean
she
her,
was a pain in the ass. Steve, they don't have anything for me. Steve, I want to get back on the show. Steve, Steve, Steve. You know what? Steve Austin did not need Deborah McMichael's character attached to his.
No, it wouldn't have worked. They did
if
that
you remember,
they put it with The Rock, right?
they were trying to do the go home for WrestleMania 17. They did that horrible angle where Deborah was going to manage The Rock, that they dropped cold turkey.
I think supposedly the story, from what I read, was they wanted to do. A pitch was they were going to do a love triangle where does Deborah have feelings for The Rock, and then they tried it for a week and they realized we don't need this at all.
It was awful.
They don't need that, and they don't need it. You know,
she was good with a mid-card guy that maybe needed a little something.
A Jeff Jarrett.
She was perfect with Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart. As far as being put up a tier with Austin selling cookie sheet shots from her, come on. Why do you think the business has been dying since 2001?
If they were if they were gun-ho and putting her with Rock, what they should have done, I'm not saying they should have done it, but they might as well just said, they might as well just said, hey, I'm fucking The Rock, Steve, and just call it that. That's what they should have just done if they're going to go with her in that spot. I'm not saying they should, but if they're going to, you know what I mean? If they're going to put her in there, because it's The Rock. Who
If
doesn't
I
want to fuck The Rock?
remember right, the
Especially in
storyline,
2001.
I think the storyline was Vince put them together.
Because it was supposed to create like this triangle, and then they realized it's not needed.
No, it wasn't even going to go that way, because Rock's character really wanted nothing to do with it. It was more with Vince to fuck with Austin. And it just, if it went 2 weeks,
Did she accompany him on the ring to the ring during that match?
In WrestleMania?
I'm trying to remember.
No.
No, I don't think so.
She had nothing to do with it, because it was terrible. Why? And the only reason they wound up putting them back together, Austin with her, was because they turned Austin heel, and she.
I know that, and I think The Rock and Austin. I know she said. I think I heard her say in an interview that they were always friends. They always got along pretty well.
Who?
Rock and Austin.
Yeah.
They always got along, and I think they even admitted to each other we don't need this. We could just do this, and you and I, because they worked with each other in '99 just by themselves. It worked out fine, you know.
I think maybe the idea, and it's not like I sat around booking meetings, but I think the idea was, we just did this a couple of years ago. This will add something new to it, but nobody wanted to see it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, and he's, and I think too at that time, both of those guys were red hot. Why would you need to add anything to it?
No, and like I said, I think Deborah McMichael's a great lady. I'd love to have her back with us here in the MWF in the future. I'd love to have her here in the studio. But at that point in time, she was a nuisance to him.
Funny enough, when people talk about Rock and Austin wrestling each other, they always...
I'm not talking about just that particular point in time. I just mean in general. She was a constant nuisance about trying to get television time. I was around it every week.
Was she like that in WCW, you think?
I don't know.
With McMichael? She has very interesting taste in men. McMichael and...
She likes people named Steve, I guess.
Austin and McMichael. What a weird transition that is, huh?
If their names are Steve, maybe not.
No Quincy's in there?
No,
No
well,
Quincy's.
No Al's, no Quincy's, no...
I think some fans have really taken a liking to the video on YouTube of Quincy singing "Baby, It's Cold Outside" to Deborah McMichael.
Oh, that song is in a lot of... it's been a very controversial. It's a very controversial song.
Well,
What's the song again?
Yeah, Baby, It's
you've
Cold
never
Outside.
heard the song
Baby, it's cold outside. Who sings that? No, I've never heard
it's
it.
an old song.
It's a really old song, but it's one that's
How old
still
we talking?
played every Christmas and every
gosh.
winter.
Well, people don't like it because of the lyrics are a little... there's maybe some
People
sexual
have to find-
harassment under the tinge. If you read the lyrics, they're very suggestive. She's
You
basically, I
think
need to
Phil's
leave.
ever sang "Baby, It's Cold Outside"?
Baby, it's cold outside. Oh, I better be going. Oh, you better stay inside.
Well,
know?
Phil would be charming enough to pull off
Phil
"Baby,
is a
It's
charming
Cold
guy.
Outside."
Phil is the guy who
I
you would,
wish I had Phil's charm. I've got too much anger and hate in me.
you're very detestable.
Huh?
You're detestable.
I don't think I'm detestable. I just think I have a lot of anger and hate
You're
inside of me.
despicable.
No. John C., am I despicable?
He's just Dan.
Where is
He's just
he?
Dan.
He just danced.
C., am I
When
despicable?
I met Dan for the first time, I thought to myself, wow, look at this carny hustler over here. And
Did you see what he just did?
what?
He went,
Yeah, you're not.
Fucking see.
I think of you more as a carny hustler than anything else.
and that's far from the truth, too.
I think you're carny. You know why? I realized because you speak in an old-fashioned way. You call people broads.
Yes.
It's like
All right, well, that's just the word I heard growing
Sack
up
of
my
shit.
life.
Sack
of
of
shit.
It just sounds
Right,
like,
that's
don't
another
you
one.
supposed to say, but ladies and gentlemen, folks, step right up. How about you, miss? How about you broad over there? Come on out, buy a ticket for April the 16th, brother. Buy a ticket, brother.
Julian, thank you. Dan isn't despicable.
I don't think you're despicable. I think you're just a little carnyish, that's all.
I don't see that. I
John
don't
Nord
feel
said,
that.
John Nord said to me, he's a little carnyish, but I like him.
John Nord didn't have any teeth. I mean, all
Hey.
right. I mean, I guess it's better than birdseed. But
Better than birdseed.
Yeah.
I think anything is better than birdseed teeth.
Gary Wolf
he's a
making,
little carnyish.
he's, you know,
I forgot the Frosty. I forgot.
now I'm not making
He
fun of
was
you.
heartbroken about
I'm not
the
making fun of
Frosty.
you because you don't eat often during the day.
Right.
And when we went to,
oh, go ahead.
we left Kowloon and you had eaten some food, and when we went to that Wendy's, and I heard, and John Nord gave me his order, and I hear from the back, hold on a second, brother, and I almost fallen out of my chair. I thought it was hilarious.
Well, I figured, you know what? If he wanted something else, I did too, because I was still hungry.
Yeah, in the satellite office, we were a little bit away from there.
There was a different satellite office. That was for the B team, I guess. But
It was the beat.
John,
It was the Lowell of the
John
satellite
Nord
office.
was hungry. And then after
God.
then after
I
I
hate
ordered my
spots
Frosty,
with objects because
Yeah.
you can't work them. That barricade actually, was that the same barricade that's used later in the match? Or later in the show? You know what I'm talking about, that three-way?
you know, I didn't put a Sharpie and draw a little marking on it. I don't know.
Shane Douglas looked great, though, at this time.
Oh, wait a minute. Tell Quincy that Deborah's two ex-husbands were named Steve, 10-1. He goes to Melrose Town Hall to change his name to Steve Rustani. Well, Phil, I think you know the tale that Quincy has a personally autographed photo from Deborah where she wrote puppies on it, and he hid it from Eleanor. He didn't want his mother to see the picture that was signed puppies. He has it hidden under his bed like he's a 6-year-old kid.
Hey, here's a question. When you get ready for the shower, do you run around naked through your house? Because Quincy Rustani likes to run around naked before.
Wait, why does he do that?
I think it psychs him up for the shower, and his mother yells at him, "Put on some clothes, Quincy!"
No, he does it in the dark. He takes the shower at like 2 in the morning. And he gets naked and he just runs through the house.
Why that late?
Like it's
Before
like
he
it's
gets
Sonic
in the
the
shower, he
Hedgehog
runs around
with
the
no
house.
light.
What's a typical day for him? Do you know?
He'll get up at like 2, 3 in the morning,
He
Get-
wakes up 2 in the
get
morning.
naked, take the shower, have a cup of coffee, then go back to bed. Now, I don't know how many people have coffee before they go back to bed.
Right.
But he'll go back to bed for a couple of hours. He wakes up, I think clothed, hopefully. He walks to the Stop and Shop in Stoneham. gets his goods, walks home, and has Patera cook him
He
a little
looks
breakfast.
for damaged goods, by the way.
Well, I don't know if he does that at Stop and Shop. That's only in Shaw's here in Melrose, when he turns into a Navy SEAL and crawls on the floor.
I've never heard that before. Someone to run around the house naked before they get in the shower.
I know.
Never heard that before.
It's almost like a running back in football, but instead of a football, he's naked and he has a pile of clothes under his arm.
He's a very nice man. Again, he always tries to hustle. Like, he hustled a slice of pizza from the show when we were... he was running around for me. He's like, where can I put my items? He put his milk he brought in a corner of the building. I said, you can't put milk on the ground in the corner. You need to put it in the fridge. Okay. I brought him to the refrigerator, put his milk in. I was basically the number 2 man at the show, Raekwon.
You were worried about dealing with milk incidents.
I had to deal with Medusa's milk, too.
Oh, please. I don't think there's any milk
Phil,
left.
I should have had you deal with Medusa.
Wait, what?
There's no milk left in that.
It's powder.
That milk is dried up, baby.
Powder.
That milk expired.
She was weird. She was nice one minute and kind of a bitch the next. I couldn't really.
Kind of. Okay.
That's crazy. You know, it's interesting to hear. I wish I was there to see that, because I've always thought Alundra was like cool, like chill.
Well,
why though? Out of curiosity.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just guess I just seen her on TV. I've just never really got to know her. So it's just that.
The coolest guy that
looking
night
from the outside
was either Marty Jannetty, who was a good Marty, or it was probably Bushwhacker Luke. Bushwhacker Luke was very cool. I like Bushwhacker Luke.
A man that got screwed by AML Creative. He was going to be with us in Tampa for Wrestle House.
What do you think he would say to how would he and Adam Lou take each other?
He would have gone sheep herder on the birdseed sized tee.
Just juice him right in the middle. Just call out Jack Victory
He
and
would have
help
taken some barbed wire to the birdseed.
That's literally the phrase for the night. Birds.
But you know,
Birdseed tee.
I'm glad that.
No, you're from Miami, so you're not used to that.
But I'm
down
glad,
there.
I'm glad that you've come here, because it's always nice to see a fresh face that we'll get sick of eventually.
Oh,
and,
man.
And it's
Hopefully not.
As long as you don't screw over Dan in like 3 months, which might happen. I don't know. People seem to like screwing him over, more so than screwing him. But I will say that it's always nice to have people. And in the wrestling business, not that I know as much as Dan. I don't know even a tenth of what Dan knows. It's kind of. I think it's always. It's a business full of a lot of triumphs and tragedies.
Very much so.
I remember we were here.
Very much so.
For like 4 months.
He's only been here for a day, not even a day, and he understands.
Yeah.
But I remember we were sitting here. We were talking about when Daphne killed herself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a time. Remember Marty and Quincy?
Marty,
like a year ago or
like September.
In September.
Yeah.
Marty and
Like
Quincy
big
held
breaking news.
hands. Remember?
I thought she was a beautiful girl
But
back
do you
in the
remember
day.
that?
I thought she was a really beautiful
She
girl.
was a nice-looking lass. But do you remember that
Daphne.
Marty and Quincy held hands?
Yes, was that the night we went to TJ Fridays?
Yes, it was.
Oh, that was the
When
embarrassing
they shared
dinner.
French fries.
Yeah, and he told the broad to go work out. We had this big black waitress, and he's like, "Hey, look, hey man, you seen anyone?" She looked like what's that movie?
What movie is this?
She looked like what's that movie? Precious.
Precious.
She wasn't quite
You've
as
seen
big
Precious?
as Precious.
I haven't
but
seen it, but I've seen a clip of it.
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
But she was nice.
She was
Don't watch
large.
that film.
It got
She
to
was
the
a
point
large
where
woman.
I was the last one of our group from out of the building. I said to someone on the way out, I apologize for anything that was said, anything that was heard, because Marty was uncouth. And then Dan was needling poor Quincy Rastani.
Did she slap Marty?
No, but just like to the point
She
where
was offended.
I think she was offended. And I mean, I just remember thinking, this is a Friday, so we need to have some sort of class here. And, I just felt like poor Quincy, I mean, he just wanted to have his cold beverage, which was hilarious.
And he wanted it,
I
how
thought
he
he meant
wanted it.
alcoholic beverage. He's like, no, I need a Coke. I just need a cold Coke. That's
He
all I
wanted
need.
it free.
He wanted it free.
Of course he did.
He
He
just-
didn't pay for it.
And I like how Marty, who says, I'm hungry, doesn't get
didn't eat.
anything. He gets
Gets
2 beverages,
booze.
it's 2 alcoholic drinks, and he just takes a couple fries. And I'm sitting there eating my boneless chicken wings or whatever. And
You
Dan
like
gets-
boneless chicken wings?
I do.
Why?
I like them because I like chicken tenders, and they're kind of like a chicken tender.
Okay,
If
that's
you want,
fair.
if you want to judge me for it, I don't mind.
I mean, I'm not judging for it. I'm just like,
I've done more despicable things.
I feel like,
You can judge me for a lot more than chicken fingers or boneless wings. But Dan, you should have seen them.
do you eat those as appetizer or like? actual meal?
Either or.
Okay.
But it's funny. We were with a guy named we call him Sacco. Do you think
Yes.
he would get along with Sacco or like Sacco?
Who?
Raekwon here. I don't know if he'd like him.
Who?
Sacco.
Kevin? Oh.
Kevin. You can't say Rick.
I can't.
Can't.
It's Kevin.
It's Kevin.
He gives everyone a nickname except me.
I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know. You know, I don't know.
So the thing with Sacco is, I don't think he's a bad guy, but he's one of those
He
people.
has long socks.
So if you
Very.
if you meet
could
him,
use them. You would probably be able to use it as a sleeping bag.
if you met him,
Is that long?
They're that long.
If you
yeah,
met
could
him-
Wait,
probably-
and like he wears shorts, like
Yeah,
shorts and long
yeah.
socks.
There's almost no leg.
he's like
It's just sock and short.
He's like the human version of like a boat shoe. He's a very preppy guy from Connecticut. He's a very good-looking, clean-cut young man, and he's kind of like a guy. You know, those are like very monotone. Doesn't seem very like. I always think he's a bit of a cunt because he's just not that pleasant. He just seems like he's angry about something, and maybe he's had some issues in his life that I didn't know about or whatever that he should be angry about. I don't know his life, but he just never seems pleasant. He just never seems happy. Like I come here, ask Dan, I'm always in a good mood. I'm
I don't
laughing.
think I've ever seen you in a bad
You know,
mood.
Yeah. When you came in, I felt that.
Yeah, and like him, you get the sense of he's not exactly Mr. Happy. So I always think he'll talk to you. He'll be like, yeah, I need to go do this. I need to go do that. I'm like,
You know it's crazy. There's some people who actually like
they're just not.
like it's not that they're not not happy.
That's
it's
just how they are.
Yeah, it's just how they are.
Yeah.
And they can be the happiest people.
Yeah, that's
but
just
it's
how-
just like they don't know how to express
The
it.
Nasty Boys terrorized him for a whole week.
Really?
Yeah, Knobs and Sags really put a number on
Wait a
that.
minute, Craig Badway. Why is Uggs? I'm gonna guess that means you. Why is he so thick?
Why?
Who's with the thick comments?
I'm not that thick. Well, I kind of am, but I'm kind of
No,
covered.
that Facebook picture. I mean, you really do look like you're on the gas.
In October?
I don't know when you took it.
Is that me shirtless?
You going?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you always think I'm on the gas? I haven't been working out much because of the shoulder injury when I fell off the bike,
yeah.
which is a lot better. I just have to straighten it.
You fell off a
You have to
bike.
get on to
I have a
Mexico to
motorcycle
get
and
the
I
good stuff.
there were some leaves on the side road and it slipped and I fell and I kind of jacked up my shoulder a little bit.
Was that how you
and
hurt
it's
your
fun-
shoulder?
Like I can
That's how you
move
did
it.
it.
I can move it around. It's just there's some soreness.
Yeah.
So my doctor thinks I strained my rotator cuff, and
Ooh.
it's not in pain. It's just a little sore if I do certain movements. So I haven't been working out as much. By the end of the month, I hope I'm back to normal. I do certain exercises. I think I have
Don't jack it off though.
no, Jack. I go my left now. I have to use my left hand. I lose my left. Like Treasury, you know. You gotta go do a little bit different.
And as I said, the snow was so deep, it was measuring.
You asked me how's the snow. I said Quincy's friends with Al. You should ask him. This match went on forever, didn't it?
It was a long match.
It was a long match for sure.
I didn't like this feud. I didn't see much in the pit bulls. Shane Douglas is blown away.
I wonder how Rick Rude looked under that robe. He looked a little bigger.
Ravishing, if you will.
Did he wear a mask because of Lloyd's of London reasons?
No. The only issue with Lloyd's of London was he couldn't work a match. He could do run-ins. He was very limited as far as anything physical.
What was the point of that? The kiss and the... Oh, that's a nice little angle. Who is that?
Primetime Brian Lee,
Oh.
who was the evil Undertaker at SummerSlam '94.
Oh, yeah. He had a... Now, did he kind of mess up his own career from what I've heard?
Oh, yeah. I thought he was pretty good. I remember the first time ECW came to Revere, we went to the Burger King on Squire Road. It's my Brian Lee story.
With Brian?
With Brian,
Did you ever see how he looked in Smoky Mountain with that blonde mullet and then how he looked in ECW? Two totally different people.
Yeah. But he was just about done here. He would go on to WWF is Chains of the Disciples of Apocalypse.
Yeah, with my
a
boy.
couple of months later.
With Brian Clark and Brian Adams.
No.
Excuse me, Brian Adams.
Yep.
Who else was in that group?
The Harrises, Ron and Don. Not to be confused with Ron and Don Birdson.
Oof.
Two heels. And Rick Rude, the summer of '97, he'd be headed to WWF as well to be the bodyguard of DX that couldn't take a bump.
Rick Rude actually had a son who died in a motorcycle accident a few years back.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
recently.
Yeah, about like 5 years ago, I think it was. So no joke. You gotta be careful
Yeah.
of those things. But yeah,
I've never been on a motorcycle. I probably never will.
Quincy and I are supposed to ride together. So I think in the spring, Dan, instead of me bringing my car, I'm gonna bring my bike, and Quincy and I will ride off into the sunset after our shows.
Into the sunset.
Sure.
Yeah. And
Thumbs
then
up,
I'll get
oh.
heat from Dan for the next few weeks, being like, you didn't bring your car, huh? You didn't. Yeah.
David Shand almost shocked me for a second. I had to reread the comments. He wrote thumbs down on the salmon shirt that Quincy has worn.
I like it.
Not on Quincy.
I like the salmon shirt.
No, he needs the pimp in purple.
But he may not even have it anymore.
But you have to understand, no, he has 7 different outfits, one for each day of the week that he wears
He's a thrift
on
shop
that
maniac.
specific day.
Thrift shop. Listen, thrift shop. There's
Yeah.
some really good shit in thrift shops.
Not really.
The
No,
fans
exactly.
at home, I don't think they've ever seen his Colonel Mustafa outfit.
If I go to a thrift shop, I want to find like sometimes they'll say like certain high school track or like basketball. I want to wear those things so people think I was an athlete.
Is that why you wear that
That's crazy, 'cause-
sweatshirt?
This one?
Yeah.
No,
Or
this.
did you go there?
No, I went here.
Oh, you
Colby,
did go
wait, what
there.
is that?
Okay.
Colby, what?
Colby Sawyer College.
Okay.
I have the sweater. But I will, if I see something like it said like so-and-so high school basketball team, I'll wear it because I want people to think I was an athlete.
No, but that's interesting because the most of the clothes at thrift shops are like, school shirts and like,
Yeah. Some people, yeah. For
soccer
sure.
shirts,
Yeah.
like, sports shirts,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, Dan Marotti has a collection of great shirts if you've been watching some of our videos, especially around the holiday season.
I do have quite the collection. I
Yeah.
wasn't, unfortunately,
you're pretty-
able to wear most of my Christmas shirts
He has
that
really
I
nice
had
slides,
this year
too. Yeah.
because of that worthless birdseed
I like
tooth
this.
sack
You
of
actually,
shit.
have some good style, Dan. I like it. I
Well,
like your
thank you.
style.
Thank you.
Cool.
My good friend June McGowan usually says that in the chat.
Really?
This John C. Manicus Riley. Wait a minute.
I have a question for
Wait,
you,
no,
Dan.
no. Hold on. I got to shoot him for a minute. Wait, I lost the message. Where did he go? I don't know what the hell he was even trying to say. Dan eats all the food in the food place when he eats somewhere.
That's a stupid joke.
That's a hell of a comment. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I was about to ask you. Oh God, that food place joke really took me out of it now.
Oh, Ryan, I hope you're feeling better, buddy.
What was I gonna say? Ooh, Bigelow.
It's Paul Richards, pre-ring tone.
Is that Paul Richards in the ring?
Yep.
With his wrist tape?
With his mullet, yep.
Ooh, look like he tried to turn it to a share knife.
Isn't it something that all these years later, Taz is still one of the best promos in the business?
That was his strong point, I thought, was a promo.
Yeah.
And wasn't his height.
David Chan says the purple shirt is what gets Quincy over. Do you think he's over without it?
I think it's his Elizabeth to his Macho Man.
You've never seen the Colonel Mustafa one, right?
What's the Colonel Mustafa?
He's all sand.
Oh yes, I have actually. I have seen it. Yeah, he does look like General Adnan.
He's got like a 91 Undertaker outfit. I think that's Sunday.
What's you mean 91 Undertaker?
He's just pretty much all black. With some cheap
One time I
belt.
walked into the building and he was sitting there and we looked at each other. We just stared at each other for like 2 minutes straight. And he looked at me and goes, I think Marotti wants you in there. as he drank his milk and ate his bugles.
Bugles. Wait, was it regular bugles or like the cheese bugles?
It could have been either bugle. I don't, but it was gross.
Because cheese bugles are really good, actually.
But with milk?
Oh, yeah.
He has a milk cough.
What is the big milk obsession here?
I have no idea.
It's, they said milk
It's
does a
the
body
only
good,
thing he
but
drinks.
No, it does not. That's a fucking lie. I drunk milk for like a year.
He's got
Trying to get taller. It never worked out.
Well, it
Never
definitely-
worked out.
It didn't
Oh,
help.
that's why
it didn't
you're
help
5'6".
Quincy. It didn't help. It
Not
didn't
even
help,
that.
It didn't even help Quincy with his brain cells, I can tell you that much.
Quincy has got, it almost looks like he has a fanny pack on under his shirt.
It's a newt.
Instead of a beer gut, he's got a milk gut.
What do you call it, a newt?
A newt, like, do you know who Newt Gingrich is?
Yes.
It used to
No.
look like, Newt had
pod-
like a little pouch.
It's
Not a
politician
gut,
from
but it
back
was a
in the day.
pouch. But now since the
He said fanny pack.
coronavirus,
I'm out,
where
man.
he's been indoors so much, it's almost like a Chris Christie. So, but when I say he has a Christie, he thinks I tell him he has a crispy. And he gets very angry about it. He has no idea what I'm trying to say. He has no idea who Newt Gingrich, Chris Christie are. But he thinks I'm saying that he's crispy. But anyway, we've got a match.
Oh, there's Danny Doring.
Talk about a great build-up. They went for about a year on this one.
I'm sure Chris Chetty's somewhere in the back.
There weren't many graduates from the school of ECW.
I heard it wasn't. It was kind of like a money grab, I think. Who's in this? Who's in this? You got Taz. You got Danny Doring in there. Was there another guy, Tom something? I can't remember his name. I heard Tom. He's like a shooter guy.
That's in this pack right now?
No, like another.
Is that
grad-
Brunansky? Brunansky used to look like he was on the gas.
Excuse me.
You remember Brunansky, don't you?
Who was this?
Richard's little Virgil?
Richard's little Virgil.
Paul Richards' friend.
No, I never met him.
You'd know Brunansky, I think.
Wait a minute. That wasn't Mike. That wasn't
Yeah,
Big
Mike Brunansky.
The security guy from
Yeah,
ECW?
the guy that used to take the jackets at the
Oh my
Garden.
God! Yes, I met him. Yeah, nice guy.
I think he was one of the Taz guys.
Mustache.
Yeah,
Yep.
glasses. But again, this match was almost like Hogan and Sting, was built up for about a year.
They didn't like each other too.
And
Legitimately.
you know what? I don't think this version of it lived up to the hype. I know, and I'm going to guess that my good friend, whose last name rhymes with Treasury, was there for it. But at Wonderland Greyhound Park, these two did a 30-minute draw that was off the charts. If Adam Lucci is still here, he may have been there for it too. That was the best match I ever saw between the two, was in Revere. This match I was kind of disappointed by from what I remember, but I'm interested to see, and we're all interested to see, what you fine folk think. Again, the Super Chat button is open for business, folks. The Marty Jannetty Indiegogo, the Patreon streaming service. John C. Manicus Riley will cut parts of his hair for certain denominations of cash. What's the minimum, John C.? What is the minimum? What's the minimum? Yeah.
Wait, when is this?
To cut some of your hair off. What's the minimum?
What's the circumstances? Like, what,
Someone pays you money to cut some of your hair off.
directly?
Yeah. What's the minimum? See, he's confused.
The minimum.
We caught him off guard. If someone said, I'll give you $50 for a couple of locks, would you start cutting?
I'll do it one time for $50.
What, now, how much do they get for the 50?
What?
How much do they get? He's giving it a lot of thought.
Trying to feel it out.
He's feeling it out.
With that.
Oh, Craig, that was a great
It's a
pay-per-view.
strand of hair.
We're going to be doing a Royal Rumble 2000 watch-along this month, I believe. Wasn't that on your list?
2000, 2001.
All right.
Both of them.
2001.
Yeah.
You're still feeling it out.
No.
Oh, how much do they get for $50? John C. Manicus Riley is trying to untangle his hair off camera, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Manicus Hart is trying to understand why he even came to the studio at this point.
That's just a strand, so that's all they get.
It's not a strand. It's like one. That's a decent amount.
Yeah.
C4P, Porty with Morty would be more like a New York accent.
So I've been asking
If you want to get it right.
have you been going to New York recently?
COVID?
I was wondering, do the people in New York that you're seeing, do they happen to have sunglasses on?
No. No, 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 no. I would love to see them get COVID and it would be fatal. But anyway,
But they're not the individuals.
I hope they're unvaccinated.
You hope they get Lou Gehrig's.
I hope they get it together.
Get it together.
Yes.
The Lou Gehrig to the COVID.
COVID. They can just keep sharing it with each other and they never recover.
I feel like you guys would have been friends if you guys met in some other type of interaction.
I don't even know who the fuck they are, but yet they have this hard-on about constantly creating content with my name, our names involved in it. So I say, fuck them. I have no time to waste thinking about them. For the fans to waste their time telling me that they even exist, I wouldn't piss on them if they were on fire.
Oh my God.
Well, now, if you knew these two sorry sacks of shit, we call them sunglasses at night. They're out of somewhere in New York
Long
or New
Island?
Jersey or wherever they may be.
Long
Well,
Island,
hopefully they fall in the water then. The island isn't long enough.
This is what I think makes you sound so carnious, because you sound like an old, like an old gangster. Be like, I hope they find,
right?
I hope
I
they
get
get
the
the
vibe.
They
tuberculosis.
take a long walk on a short island.
Yeah, I hope they get the tuberculosis and die.
My good friend Mike Burke Coffin just said they're losers. Screaming baboon. I don't know if Baboon's talking about the virus or sunglasses, but says totally fake. Well, Stone Roses, I'm very sorry that you're ill.
Oh, blood.
I'm glad my one of the members of the Boston Wrestling MWF family recovering from the disease or the virus. From the virus is doing better. If they have any diseases, I hope they recover from that too.
You're a lovely man, dear Marathi.
Marati.
Sometimes I speak before I think. Whoa,
Marati.
Taz was really looking
Yeah,
to
that
get
was-
over the barricade on that one.
Shit.
That was like one of those where you needed the guy to give you the second clothesline to get over the top rope.
That was a sell.
Sabu is ready to, he's going to hit the end accessory.
Hey.
That's what Phil was
That's when
doing
he
up
jumps
at
down.
Walters.
That's when you're at the bottom of the stairs in the basement. He jumps down with a cross body.
Poor Phil.
Wait,
I
wait,
can't
have
wait
you done
to
that
see
before,
him
though?
tomorrow
I
night.
do a cross body.
We're going to be
But
live
like down,
with
like stairs in the basement.
No, I haven't done that.
Okay, because I've done that before.
Oh, okay. I've done
that
it
before.
off the ropes. That's about it. Running off the ropes. I was. If someone came to me for a wrestling match, Dan wants me to be a talent relations kind of fellow, and I always felt if I had to do a wrestling match, like a big angle, I'd be like, all right, how about this? You guys are wrestling, and all of a sudden you get hit with a cross body, and that's the match.
That's it.
That's it. Do you have any favorite finishes or matches that finished in a certain way that you're like, oh, that was great. I love the way it ended. I'll ask that to you and Dan, and to the people out there too.
What's that
Any
now?
finishes that you loved?
In certain matches or just
Yeah.
finishing moves that I like?
Yeah.
Matches.
Is-
I guess.
okay,
I
okay.
meant, like finishes. Like for me, for example, I will always love the Steamboat Savage finish with Steel pushing him off, and he lands and he picks him up, and then he gets the small. I want to do an angle with Quincy Rastani like that, where I'm essentially in a match as Steamboat, and I'm on the ground, and Quincy pushes the guy off, and then he picks me up, and I do inside cradle for a 1, 2, 3.
Bret Hart versus Stone Cold for sure. That finish.
The '96 Survivor Series match or the '97 WrestleMania?
Survivor Series.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know,
with
I was
Survivor
actually
Series.
going to say the same
Survivor
thing.
Series, for sure.
And they did something similar at WrestleMania 8, but I agree with Kevin.
Yeah, I like that.
Kevin Manick is high.
That was a good one.
Not to be confused with Brett, but
Yeah, not
well,
yeah,
maybe
not
some
Bret.
people have confused him with Brett if they were blind. But
That was a good one.
the joke or the match?
Well, either or. I think a finish is good, obviously, too, if you don't see it coming. I can remember as a kid, Orton and Benoit at SummerSlam 04, and I didn't think Orton was going to win that match.
04.
SummerSlam 04.
Yeah, I thought you said 90.
Oh no, 04.
Oh, definitely at 94.
Randy would have been
04. And then I'm like, Orton won the title. I'm like, geez. I'm like, that's kind of, and then like he lost it like a month later because Triple H had a fucking ego. And
Speaking
then,
of Orton, he's just one of those guys that
he's
I mean,
he's money. I think.
he's definitely, still around,
Yeah.
still fresh too. You know what I mean?
I think the guy who's, you know what I think is going to be like Orton in the next few years? I think Austin Theory is going to be up there.
Wow, that's
Austin,
a big.
Austin,
That's a big
I think
one.
Austin Theory.
Hot's taking
That's
a
a
bath.
hot take.
Hot take, Austin Theory.
That's
going to
a
be the
hot
next one,
take.
especially if you're Vince McMahon.
And I can't take that with you. I don't know about that.
You don't like
one.
Austin Theory?
I mean, it's not that I don't like him. It's just that right there is a big statement.
I don't know. He looks great. He's a pretty decent wrestler. I think he's going to be.
He's a really good heel.
I think he should. I think he could win the Rumble. He'll be down in the last 5. I guarantee he'll be in the bottom 5.
Well, it's some good news for you. Phil says a surprising number of weightlifting injuries do heal on their own, even though you fell off a motorcycle.
I did, but you know what's weird is I didn't fall directly on my. It's not like I fell on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I had my arm up and I kind of fell. And I think
You expected to fall?
I didn't expect it, but it was like last second. I'm like, I'm gonna fall, and I actually was more worried about my knee because if you remember, I was putting my leg up a lot because my knee was swollen.
Yes, you were like John Noyd, as a matter of fact.
And funny enough, it was like 3 days before the event we had, and I remember telling you.
Was it that soon?
It was like a few days before the event.
I don't remember it being that soon, but that whole time frame
Yeah.
is a blur.
And my knee was fine. It was completely fine. Just went down, and my shoulder was inflamed, and I was like, "What's going on?" And my doctor says, "Beginning of December, you strain your rotator cuff. You should be okay by the beginning of the year." I'm not 100%, but I could do certain things. I just haven't worked out because I didn't want to re-aggravate it.
Yeah, right.
So I'm waiting until maybe like another week or two. If it's not 100% by beginning of February, I'll probably go back to the doctor. He did mention physical therapy, but I still have pretty good range of motion. Like it just depends. Like for example, I could do this, but if I try to do this,
You feel that right now.
It's like impingement.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something. I think it could be just like a weak rotator cuff muscle. I know it can crack a lot, so that's.
It's kind of like me. Like I have kind of like soreness in my palms because I skateboard.
Yeah.
And this one time I was skateboarding and I went in, like I hit a pothole.
Right.
And I literally got ejected from the skateboard. Like skateboard went back and I went forward
You
and I
flew
fell
over.
on my hands.
Like Sabu. Just
yeah,
flew.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like Sabu.
Yeah.
And I fell on my hands and I had internal bleeding for like a week.
Yeah.
But like
No bleeding on the outside.
no, it was like just
Internal.
streams of blood inside. I just seen
Streams
it.
of-
streams of blood inside,
streams of
literally.
How
blood.
painful is that?
Oh, it
Probably
hurt.
Probably can't even touch anything.
I mean, not now. I mean, like it's better now.
How long
but
did it take to heal from that?
I'd probably say about a month. It took a little minute. It took a little minute. It was.
Yeah.
I literally see streams of blood
That's
inside
crazy.
my hand.
It's weird. It's one of those two slow injuries, especially like when
So
it takes.
weird.
Like I can tell you the shoulder, there's not a lot of blood flow, and there's all different types of parts, so it takes a while. Like I'm going on, I think like my 8th or 9th week since the injury, and like you have to get like an MRI to really check it. But I don't think I tore anything because if it was a really bad tear, I'd
Oh,
do like
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
If
You wouldn't
anything,
be able to
it
move
might
that
have,
well.
you know, in a small tear you can repair. So I've been doing different exercises, like strengthening exercises and different things with like stretches and different kinds
Go
of.
to a
like,
chiropractor, man.
I might.
Like our
but
good friend Dr. Scott, just 2 doors down.
where's the chiropractor here?
2 doors down in the yellow building.
Wait, are you
Really?
serious?
I used to go 4 times a week.
Pretty good guy.
He took good care of me 4 times a week
No, I have to look into it.
with for the Rastani price.
The Rastani price.
The Rastani price.
Yeah. I wonder how many zeros that ends in.
Hey, Joe.
And those
That's where
chiropractor
it begins
videos,
and
man.
ends.
I love those chiropractor videos, man. I watch chiropractor
You
videos.
watch chiropractor
Like Dr. Bo
videos.
Hightower.
Now, why is that?
Yeah. I'm just like watching
it's
like the
basically
cracks.
compilations of people getting cracked.
It's kind of cool to listen to.
You know, like people.
It's kind of
getting
cool to
their
listen
back
to.
cracked.
I don't know.
Wait a minute now.
People call me weird for it, but I don't know.
Matt said, was hot little Mr. T in the mid-80s.
He asked what?
He wanted to know if you were the little Mr. T midget back
Hey,
in the
hey,
80s.
hey! No! Don't talk about the
He's
Haiti kid that way.
5'6",
Don't talk about Haiti kid.
5'6".
Do you think he could be the new Haiti kid, Dan?
I don't think he's from Haiti. He's from
Yeah,
Miami.
yeah.
He's the Miami
Fairly
kid.
close. No, we're just.
Dan is a stripper. Well, I don't know about that one.
Dan, you strip?
You should
The
see
only
it.
time I get stripped is when Linda Moratti comes near my wallet. But anyway, what are you going to
Or if you have one of those late night visits,
do? Well,
like Marty got with the pink pill lady.
well, that was a video, all right. Wait a minute. What did Queen Bench say here? I like old-fashioned candy-making videos.
Candy maker.
What?
I didn't know they were old-fashioned
Like
candy-making
Zahorian when he gave out the
videos.
candies to
Oh,
the
maybe
boys.
those are the Well,
Yeah.
it's too bad you weren't around for the days of Satori, and you and Phil could have gone down to Allentown
Uh-oh.
together in Hamburg for the
Charlie
TV
and I went
tapings.
down to the Hamburg TVs, and then we went over to Allentown and got our candies from Zahorian.
Yes, Mr. T is alive and well. No, the Iron Sheik did
Oh,
not bang
this
Dan,
looks
nor make
terrible.
That
me
wasn't a
humble.
botch, right?
This looks
like,
terrible.
him getting over
no, no, I don't
Okay.
think so.
I thought he just-
Oh,
Oh, fuck.
his body must
Fuck,
feel
you
like
should-
he lost
the
his wife
reaction.
recently. Why didn't his wife die, Sabu, or his girlfriend?
Yes, first she lost her legs, and then she lost her leg.
The big-breasted woman, Melissa Coates.
Melissa Coates, yeah.
She lost her legs.
She was. How'd she lose her legs?
I don't know, but it was like, I remember from what I heard, it was a life and death situation, and he had to make the call, like on the spot. Are we going to cut the legs off, or is she going to die? And he said, cut 'em.
How long after the legs cut?
Not terribly long, a couple of years maybe, because he had to push her around in a wheelchair, and he was out in, I think he's still out in Vegas.
Wasn't he? Would you ever have him? No, didn't you try to get him to do an interview?
No.
No, you didn't. No interest.
If we were doing something in Vegas with someone that knew how to run audio, unlike that worthless birdseed tooth sack of shit, yeah.
We
I
will never hear
wouldn't-
the end of that.
Do you think he watches? Like, there's like a dark room in the Lou house, and he watches with his hood on.
Mom, you're making fun of my birdseed teeth again.
and Pa
I
Luke-
better call the studio.
Oh, Lou comes in with his.
Hello,
No.
can you teach me some ninja moves? In my
I feel like he probably does
AML
watch it that way.
creative hat.
Got the hoodie on.
Yeah,
spotlight.
like a dark room, and he's like, and he's got pictures of Dan all around. He's taking pictures, and they're up on a room. And then the day comes,
Well,
he
he's
takes a
got
picture.
my goddamn interviews all over his website that he had nothing to do with,
Are they still
other
up
than the
there?
one he ruined with Kevin.
Are they still up there?
Yes. He's got the one with Horseface on there. He's
Wait,
got
Kevin
a-
who? Not me, right?
Huh?
Not me, right? You said
No,
Kevin.
no, Kevin Sullivan.
Okay, can't
No,
get
no, no, no.
Okay.
Your
It'd be
namesake.
hard to get you up on a website, considering you've only been here for about 45 minutes. But
Well,
I haven't earned it yet.
but he's. I just see him sitting, and then he's like, "Ma, like, I don't know. This
they're
rivalry."
talking about me.
Oh,
and
no.
Mom.
And you know what's crazy is I would tell you guys what you would say about each other. And it was so funny when I said, he thinks you're a pain in the ass. He's like, he thinks I'm a pain in the ass. And I was like, among other things, yes.
Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, like I said to one of the people here the other day, he flushed a friend he could have had for life down the toilet.
And some money.
And a 12-pack of Coke. I didn't forget about that either. Remember?
Oh, who do you think hustled that Coke?
Maybe the rapper. I don't know. But someone took it because
Maybe
I
the
remember
rapper.
there were 4 of them. There were
That made me laugh the most.
Kevin Hart,
Maybe the
Manicus
rapper.
Hart. There were 4 12-packs of Coke the night Lou pulled this hustle.
I had a case I would have given
And
to
there
you.
were only 3 of them at the end of the night. So not only did this con go on, not only was my toy drive ruined, but a 12-pack of Coca-Cola was stolen.
Who's the animal that stole the Coke?
Rastani would have been furious.
Because he was going to return the...
Probably would have taken them for himself.
Oh, God.
I could see him opening them up and putting them in the milk crate on the back of his bike. But anyway.
Oh! That's a dangerous bump. Cook just did one of those the other day.
That was impressive, man.
See, that's the
Referee
thing.
Jim Molyneux.
They're trying to build
What's called
Cook.
like an exploder,
I think
exploder
that's
suplex almost?
Brunansky right there on the left side of the
hand it on.
Not really exploder, because exploder is more
Exploder's
like...
more of the the front.
exactly.
But Dan, they're trying to build Hook kind of like a similar way as his dad. He comes out, doesn't say anything, he just beats people in a few
Butterfly.
minutes. What do you think about that? Because he doesn't look like his dad, really, as far as he was
No, I wouldn't think they were father and son. I understand that they're trying to get over someone new. Yeah, he's a little...
Could you imagine if they do a Taz / Goldberg push with Hook, where he goes undefeated, like 60-0, and then he gets a world title shot?
They're really big on him. I know that. I mean, they've really pushed him up as something special.
I bet he's going to have a title
I don't
this
think
year.
there's anything bad about him.
Oh.
I don't think he's ready for that type of a push on national TV yet. One man's opinion.
I think do you think he looks good physically?
Not bad.
Little thin for that. He's not
For
short.
that group, he's...
I don't think he's short. I think he's about 6 feet tall.
Yeah,
Ah.
that's what I mean. For that group, he stands out
Yeah.
compared to some of them.
I think if he was a short guy, like a 5'7", 5'8" guy, it would hurt him more, being that size. He's just really lean.
You know what? I think we need.
He's a former
we need
lacrosse
a
player.
break.
You know he's got to be tough. Oh gosh, the suplexes.
I mean, he's taking them too. Jeez.
I think after this, there's like 2 more matches.
I remember the triple threat. I remember.
And then there's the Braven match with.
Well, that kind of tied into the triple threat match. They were one after another. I'm trying to think. Anything else we're forgetting? No, I think that's it.
Will you be joining us tomorrow?
For sure.
Okay, good.
He wants to show off his camera.
We'll have a okay.
Oh
so,
yes, I'm bringing the
so,
camera.
So
yeah.
we'll have
Bring
a.
the
Does it
Canon
rhyme with
DSLR.
treasury?
Will we have?
What is that?
Does it rhyme with treasury?
Treasury.
So we'll have a full house of Phil
Wait,
DeCesare,
what? I missed that joke.
Kevin Hart.
Does it rhyme with treasury?
No.
All right. Well,
Well, we'll have a full house for Slamboree
not to
90.
be confused with Bill House,
Bill House.
member of the Boston Wrestling MWF Board of Directors, the father of Kramer on Seinfeld.
I don't remember that episode.
Now, fans, you guys might hear it better at home. Is that Taz's WWE theme song they're playing? It sounds it, but anyway. What were you saying?
I don't remember that episode, but no. What do you? I mean, I just know we're gonna have him. We're gonna have Kevin Hart. We're gonna have Kevin Manicus Hart. We're gonna have Phil DeCesare. We're gonna have myself, you, a full house, John C. Riley.
Manicus Riley.
We're gonna have a lot of people here.
Imagine if the other man, we'd have 3 Manicuses.
Howard's
if the
coming
real
in,
one-
right? Or you're not gonna have?
If needed.
I don't think you're gonna need him at this point now.
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but it's looking like, as I explained it to you, how things were going to play out.
Well, just let me know tomorrow.
Oh, we're still going to do it nonetheless. It's just a matter of Howard Miller.
Oh, so you're gonna be here tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be here early anyway, but I think poor baby Marati is going to get jobbed out of another experience because of that heathen that was at the studio today.
I met him
That
one time.
Heathen.
He was a fine fellow.
That heathen that was here.
Oof. Heathen.
Linda Morani? Where do you think, now how does she rank on a scale of 1 to Manicus, the original Manicus and Terry Reynolds?
Nah, she would have kicked the fuck out of both of them.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, I know so. After what I dealt with today.
I didn't tell him the story about Lou and the small children that we met on the street.
Oh, no, yeah, you never finished it.
So there's a restaurant down the road from here, Red Rose Chinese Food, very good restaurant. Sometimes they send us food.
Kevin Hart is dead to me. Wait a minute.
When they pick, who said
Me?
that?
One of the fans, yeah.
Well, you already got heat.
Oh my God.
Welcome to
Wait,
wrestling.
is that the same fan that said I didn't know about what was that? What was the comment before? He was like, if you don't know about this person, you should.
No, that was Adam Lucci said you didn't if you didn't know Captain Lou,
Yeah,
you
right,
didn't belong
right.
on the
Was
set.
that the same person?
Oh,
Yes,
anyway,
Linda Marati is a heathen.
so anyway, we go and we move posters. And I always want to put posters up everywhere. And he's like, well, we have to go and ask the people inside. So he goes inside Red Rose and he's like, could we put a poster up and would you like to be a sponsor for the show and all that? And they're like, yeah, whatever. They just did the whatever thing. And then these 2 kids are like, there's going to be a wrestling show there? And he's like, yeah. And they're asking about the wrestling show, and they're asking about the wrestling show. We finally leave. So then a couple stores down, they follow us and like, hey, we have a question about the wrestling show. And then one of their parents was driving by, and all they see is these two weird-looking men. Well, me and Lou.
One on the gas and one with birdseed size.
Talking to their son and his friend. And I literally
I
looked
have
at
to
Lou.
see this teeth.
And I said, Lou, let's walk and let's not be suspicious. So I start running away as a joke. and Lou was like,
Did he get nervous?
I don't know.
I'm sure he gets nervous about everything.
well, he said, I haven't been this nervous since I went to the Grand Canyon.
Did he really say that?
No,
I was going to say. I know he sure doesn't know how to book a trip to the Grand Canyon, but
What did he say when he found that out? Did he say sorry? Did he say, I guess everything happens?
I assume he went, oh. And after about the 6th oh, I said, this isn't going good to Din Fin. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Thank you.
How long
I
did he get up?
accidentally booked it for next Sunday.
Did he have to pay for it?
No, they gave us a refund. Me, a refund.
Oh. So did they? So he didn't.
Yeah, he was
How
like,
long
"Well, I
did he
gotta do
get
that
out
again."
there? How long was the drive out there? Oh,
Whoa.
Oh my
God.
God. That was a botch.
It was about as bad as Captain Lou's Grand Canyon trip booking. No, we didn't.
That's a whole botch right
It
there.
was only 5 minutes away.
The Grand Canyon?
Well, no, we never went. We went to go get picked up. And that imbecile booked it for the wrong day. So we got up for nothing on a Sunday morning at 6 a.m. You can imagine my sparkling personality at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Hateful.
I wanted to pick him up like a Nerf football and throw him down the Vegas Strip.
Uh-oh.
What happened? Oh, wait a minute. Wait, a little buffering, not Michael.
No,
All
we
right.
want a resume.
Taz won the matchup, but did he win the war? RVD was appearing a lot on Shotgun Saturday night in the WWF at this point.
I always hate how he always wrestled in a ponytail. You think he would have taken that ponytail out once in a while and let his hair down.
But what do you think of his ponytail, Kevin?
It's a look.
It's a
It's a
look.
look. It's a look. It's
Look
a
at
vibe.
the big Fonzie heel turn. Thinks he's Mike Tyson at WrestleMania.
And I think for
Mania
for
14.
most wrestlers back in those days, they were always having their hair like down, you know.
Yeah.
It's like one of a kind.
Yeah,
Going back to that.
one of a kind.
Do you think he took too much time? Didn't even go to the hard cam. Well, now there he goes.
Wait, why would he wait till before? Wouldn't he have fucked over Taz in the finish? If he was going to be Team Sabu?
Would have made sense.
What's that?
That would have made sense.
Wouldn't it?
Considering Taz went over.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Nice to get a camera shot of him. Still
Also,
fighting.
Sabu, did he really sell anything? I mean, he takes a bunch of table bumps and he's just up, I don't know.
A lot of tape.
What's he talking about, his beefy ass?
Do you respect his beefy ass?
I respect it. You got to
All right.
respect it. Do you?
Again, I never really noticed
would
it all
would
that
Phil
much. and
respect it?
You'd have to ask Phil. I don't. Phil is a man that has done a lot more in the gym than I have. I don't think Van Dam ever reached the level of potential I thought he had right around then.
Where do you think his... I mean, they finally got that big push in 06, and then he smoked it away, literally.
The problem was the push should have come in about 01.
You would have had him in 01? I think, I mean...
Well, Eric Bischoff wanted to build the new WCW around him.
Mm-hmm.
That never happened, but...
Do you know I think might have been the best wrestler in 2001 at that point? Looking back?
In 2001?
I think might have been Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was on fire at that point.
Yeah.
No,
They
that's
never
good.
should have turned him heel after that when he beat Austin for the title. That was another fuck up, but
That was like, oh.
he was the hottest thing on the planet after 9/11.
And they just had him with the belt for what, like a month?
Yeah, and then Austin beat him the next month, I think.
Let's go.
They beat him in Pittsburgh. They had him win in Pittsburgh too, and that was
Yeah, I mean, that was a great moment.
that SummerSlam?
No, it was whatever the September pay-per-view
Unforgiven,
was.
maybe?
Unforgiven. They should be unforgiven for some of the booking they've had since then. But
How long would you have kept the belt on Angle at that point? Till Mania?
and for a long, probably longer.
Okay.
It
Well,
was-
what do you
the
consider-
gimmick was perfect for what was going on in the country and the world at the time.
And he was a great performer.
Make it
as well.
happen.
And he was about as
The
talented
best
as
in the
anyone.
business, as
Yeah.
far as the in-ring work goes, even though they made an ass out of him all summer wearing the little,
Hat.
Kevin-sized cowboy hat and drinking milk like he was a Rastani, but no, I mean, I would have pushed him until Timbuktu. They should have tried to make him the face of the company at that point.
It's funny, Jake Roberts said about him, you've got a guy with so much credibility, you can't buy his credibility, Kurt Angle. But they try to make him an ass clown at different points. And it's like, there's other guys who could do that. Even if he's good at it, it's like he's an Olympic gold medalist. Let him be himself.
Yeah.
Let him be a serious character. You can make anyone else an ass, you know?
Yeah, and you can make anyone a fool.
We got the 18th goatee on the show with Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
That was the hot thing in
Dreamer.
'97.
And so was Beulah.
What was that?
I said, and so was Beulah.
What, a goatee?
No, you said the hot thing in 1997.
Oh, she was. Who do you think was the most beautiful woman in the business in '97? You had to pick one. There weren't as many. I'm going to go with Luna Vachon. Because I love Luna Vachon.
Luna? Yeah.
I love Luna Vachon.
Little on the masculine side for me.
Well, I like my women a little more masculine.
She was a little on that side.
I don't like
I was
these
gonna say
feminine
that,
women.
yeah.
I'm a man. I want a manly woman.
China.
I want a woman that could beat the shit out of me.
Oh.
You know? A Desiree woman.
Don, I have to agree with you about that. Sable, I'd say, during the second run was even better looking than she was during the first run.
Sable.
I don't know if you've heard the story about my attack when Brock Lesnar took me out at the Marriott Marquise, and
He was trying to get out of the WWF, and we were in
he
his
was trying
way.
to get into the hall. He was trying to get out of the hotel, and I was trying to get in, and he pushed the revolving door very, very hard, so him and Sable could avoid the fans, and the door hit me from behind.
For someone who hated wrestling, he really made a lot of money in it.
He did.
Oh, there's Rob Feinstein in there.
Oh yeah, he was supposed to be X-Pac. I can imagine what he's trying to take photos of with that camera, but.
Who is that's Nova? That's Steven Richards, Blue Meanie, and who's the guy with the?
Thomas Rodman.
Who's that
Remember,
played
Dennis
by?
Rodman was part of the.
Who is that? Who's playing?
As far as I know, Thomas Rodman. I think this was the beginning, the middle, of the end of the career of Thomas. John C., what do you think of ECW? Do you think it's extreme?
I mean, it's definitely more extreme than day one.
You didn't think that was very extreme?
Not really.
No. All right, well, John C. has spoken. Fans, for $50, you can take home a lock of John C. Manicus Riley's hair. Quincy Rastani will mail it to you on a Thursday. We'll have photographic evidence. Remember Jackie's titties on one of the first pay-per-views. Well, Jackie had a hard time keeping those bad boys in. Talk about puppies. They were like ravaged dogs. I remember when Jackie Moore was, I don't know if flirting is the right word, but making eyes with HBK at one of the WrestleCons.
I wish he was making eyes at me.
The Hey Brother Kid, John Cena
God,
Sr.
The Hey Brother Kid. The biggest
Her
carny in
and
the world, the
Ivory.
Hey Brother Kid, John Cena Sr.
I thought that was me, according to you.
You're the second biggest.
Can you believe that, though? Ivory and Jackie Moore were kind of eyeing down John.
Ivory.
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 Oh, who said this? John Cena Sr.?
No, I was there.
What did they want with him?
They were sitting right across from us, and they were being kind of flirty.
Where was this?
Tony Atlas had a woman walking on him.
Where was this at?
Orlando, because it was me, Johnny, Zeb Coulter, and Shelton. And Tony was around the corner from us.
What were you doing? Were they flirting with you?
No, Johnny.
The mood.
Again.
Percy, telling you.
Yeah.
He's trying to tell you that it was the truth.
Yes, that was the truth, baby.
No, wait, no. Matthew, if you hate me, why do you keep watching, brother? I don't know what else to tell you. If you don't like us, don't watch. There are so many other things you could do in your life that you could enjoy doing instead of writing comments on a YouTube video watch-along about how much you dislike me. Why don't you masturbate and go to bed?
Speaking of masturbating, have you guys heard of that? What's that wrestler, Big Swole?
Oh, was that the one that had the heat with
Tony Khan?
Yeah.
Big Swole, yes.
So what do you? So Kevin Hart, you were a man You're an African American gentleman, correct?
Yes.
What do you think about these comments about how AEW is lacking diversity and structure, and how then Tony Khan came back and said, well, if anything, you just were a crappy wrestler, and essentially we let you go because of that. And check out Rampage, and all these people who are black have won on TV. So it's a lot.
I don't watch AEW enough to know that.
They have a lot of people of different colors.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I don't know the situation, but there's two sides, right? So there's like,
Yeah, you get rid of her for one.
I can understand Khan because some people do use that to the advantage. Like they'll just say that they'll play that card, the race card or the diversity card, But then it's like you got somebody like Khan who's running, I think, a good business, and it's like, yeah, bro, you're not putting in the work. So I don't really know the situation to really I don't know the nuance of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
What about you, Dan? What do you think about that whole
There's two
thing?
sides.
Hey, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, bullshit on whose part though?
Her.
Yeah.
I think she's crying over spilled milk.
Well, she said a month earlier that it was
wish Leo
amicable,
didn't
and
go
then she's
nuts.
coming out and saying, I think honestly she wasn't a very good wrestler, and she feels she said something about the structure. Now this is something I agree with her. She said AEW doesn't have a lot of structure, which I probably agree with. She said,
yeah, that's true.
I don't think there's a lot of structure, and I heard with AEW, if you're someone who doesn't really have ideas to pitch to Tony, because he's the creative guy there, so if you go to Tony and pitch ideas, he'll be more likely to use you. But if you're just someone who's going in, I'm like, hey, boss, I'm here to wrestle. He'll be like, all right, just go in dark. I
think the problem that he runs into is that he's got too many talents for too many shows that he has to try and navigate on his own. And the only help that, as far as I know, that he helps are other wrestlers.
And I feel like, too, unless
he needs...
if you're just, and I was talking to, we had a gentleman on the show November the 13th named Trey Lamar.
Yeah.
And he said, I'd rather go to AEW. And I said, well, and I thought of that for a while. And I said, the thing is, unless you're a really well-known indie guy, or you're off WWE TV, or you're one of the original AEW guys, like a Darby Allin, you're just going to go on their dark shows. You know what I mean? Unless Tony loves you, they're just going to go on Elevation and just beat, like, I don't know, Aaron Solo or whatever in 10 minutes. I'm trying to think of some random guy. So to me, it's like it's almost like in WCW when you'd watch a match and you'd see like Silver King or El Dandy or like Jerry Flynn just kind of thrown in there. They're almost like these random outcasts. They're like the kids in the background in Saved by the Bell. They're just walking, talking the halls in the background. They're just background characters.
Right.
It's a real similarity.
Funaki was a background character in WWE for 10 years.
WWE's problem is they don't have any variety to their shows on any brand. You know, it's funny. I was talking to someone about Cole Carter signing with them, someone that's in WWE right now, and they said, this is the last place I would suggest they come.
Where do you think he would go? Where do you think he should go? Japan?
Cole?
Yeah.
To train in WWE.
No, but didn't you just say someone said that this is the last place he should go?
Yeah, one of his peers.
Wait,
They felt the last place he should want to go is WWE. It's such an unhappy, crazy
Cole
place
Carter's
right
peer
now.
said this.
Yes, someone in WWE
But you believe
right
Cole should go there?
It's the best training he's ever going to get.
Yeah.
Even if they don't use him and they release him, it's the best experience he's going to get. AEW really doesn't offer much. Impact really doesn't offer much as far as that goes. Independent training really is really hit or miss, mostly miss.
Yeah. Jim Cornette said WWE is like the prep school that you go to with all the rules. You'll have the best teachers in the world, but they're very strict. Well, AEW is like where the kids that flunked out go to, and they're like, we're going to party every period, and if you learn anything, well, that's up to you.
Yeah.
So... But I think if I was a wrestler,
where would you go?
I think this, because of my size, I'd be better off going to AEW because smaller guys probably better off. If I was a wrestler 25 years ago, I'd rather go to WCW than WWF.
You know what someone
because
said?
as a smaller guy, but the thing is, if I went to AEW, like let's say I wrestled indies around here for like 3 years, and I went to AEW, I know as soon as I sign, they're just gonna put me on dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like unless they want to push me, unless I have a bunch of ideas. Unless I made a big name for myself in the indie circuit, they're just going to push me on dark. They're just going to put me there and be like, all right, you're going to lose to Bear Bronson in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're just going there to get a check, I think.
And there's
Am
a
I
lot
wrong
of
on that,
guys,
Dan? Would I be wrong on that one?
They don't even get the call that they're even, unless it's one of their regular names, the call that they're booked until sometimes the morning of the events. You have to kind of be on
Really?
standby, yeah.
So everyone's down in Florida, just kind of like, well, I'm here.
No, I'm talking about AEW.
That's what I mean.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if they're.
Well, no, they have shows all over the country.
But if you're living somewhere, you have to just fly on a plane and go there.
Yeah, they'll get you your plane ticket and usually go to the airport. Go. Here's your confirmation
That's how
number.
WWF used to be back in the day too, a little bit, right? Or they didn't call anyone.
WWF has always been organized as far as that goes. I mean, they'd get weeks of plane tickets in advance.
But maybe WCW I'm thinking about. But no, but I would rather, if I was a wrestler today, based on my size, I'd probably have a better shot getting AEW. But to me, you know, I don't know. I don't think I'd be used a lot. I mean, again, like I said, if I just wrestled around indies here for a couple of years, I mean, at the end of my run, thinking that, unless you're a big name on the indie scene.
If I was a pro wrestler right now and I was looking at the current landscape, I would look at where can I go to make a fair amount of money and get some exposure and get my name out there, which to me would be your Impacts, MLW, NWA.
Yep.
Because right now WWE and AEW are overloaded. And that neither of them are going to stay that way forever.
But how much difference is there in money compared to those companies?
I'm sure there's a big difference. But at the end of the day, it's not about the
immediate money.
the short term, it's about the long term.
Now with that in mind, I haven't watched any MLW. If I was going to be a pro wrestler,
MLW is amazing, man.
Kevin
really,
likes his AEW.
Oh,
Maybe
MLW.
the
MLW.
M in MLW stands for Manicus.
Well, maybe Manicus League Wrestling. If I was a wrestler today, and I would want to go NWA Power, because I think I would fit more into that side of wrestling. I would fit more into that.
I
style
like
of wrestling.
this. Phil's has suggested Charlie versus Tiger Mask, MSG 1982, baby.
Charlie versus Tiger Mask.
That's what he has suggested.
Hey, you know how many
yes.
internationals will do, Phil? I would do so many cross bodies on Tiger Mask. I wouldn't say I was great, but I could have a decent beginner match. I could probably, Dan, I'm going to be honest with you. I watched that November the 13th show. I think I could be better than some of the guys you had booked.
Well, we'll have to maybe put you under a hood on April 16th.
Yeah, hood, yeah. I
We
could
watch this triple threat extravaganza.
Could I be the masked Manicus?
Well, I could see that coming.
Masked Manicus? We'll have like a bunch. We'll be number 3. John C. be number 2. I'll be number 1.
Palu 2.0.
Palu.
No, go back to MLW though. That's how I got introduced to like Isaiah Swerve Scott. I thought he was really good on MLW. His match with Riddle. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
No, I haven't.
I mean, they had a lot of matches, but I think this one was for a
MJF
title.
was down there, right?
Yes.
MJF was down
yes.
there. Yeah.
But this is the match. I forgot. It was for a title for sure.
Richard Holiday, I think I've heard. He's down there. Some guy named Richard Holiday.
He's down there. Davey Boy Smith was down there too for a little bit.
Is he good, Rich Holiday?
I don't think that one. But
Sorry.
Huh?
I don't think you meant that one.
What?
Davey Boy Smith.
Junior, the second one.
Oh, did he add the junior part in?
the
Did I
small,
add
the
no, I
younger.
did not add the junior.
He just calls him Davey Boy Smith.
I did not add
He's
the
a couple
junior.
of decades
But,
off
yeah,
on
you
the
know what I mean, though.
possibilities of that one. Neckbreaker from Terry Funk going for the victory.
Yeah, he was down there for a little bit.
Bob
But
Feinstein
What's it
probably
like?
zooming in on his
What's it
crotch.
comparable to?
What's that now?
What's MLW comparable to? I've never seen
you ever see like House of Glory?
House of Glory.
Yeah.
Is that like Ring of Glory?
That's
It's
Red's promotion,
Red's
I think, in New
company.
York. Amazing Red.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen
It
it.
has that. Yeah, it has a similar style like that. It's really wrestling focused.
I heard Teddy Hart was down there for a while in like his 18th company that he's gone to
Where?
in MLW.
Yes,
MLW?
you're right.
What do you think about? I know Bo Douglas told me about Teddy Hart and him hung out one time.
Oh, that must have been.
Interesting.
Hey, Teddy,
Meeting of the minds.
if you think the hot dungeon was something, you gotta come down to the Joe, right by the train.
What do you think about Teddy Hart, Dan? Unbelievable potential,
Fuck 'em.
but never utilized.
It's just why, you know what? Why waste your time even thinking about someone that didn't invest in themselves? Obviously needed mental health help.
I
that
mean, his
never
outfits.
got.
He had cool outfits. He invested in his outfits.
Well, I'm sure a nice guy, sure, that's great. But I mean, as far as someone that everyone says, yeah, he had a lot of great talent and he did nothing with it because he was out of his fucking mind.
Yeah.
And it's too bad he didn't go and get the help that he needed. It's too bad his family didn't encourage it, or if they did, that he didn't choose to find a way. I'm sure with the connections the Harts had with WWE, they would have been happy to try and lend a hand.
I mean, because he was he
he could
really
have been a big.
Whoa.
Oh my
What
God!
the
Oh my
fuck?
God!
Ah.
Jesus Christ!
That-
Terry Hart-
No.
Terry Funk is like, how old's Terry at this point? He's got to be 50
Oh,
something.
wait a minute. Phil DeCesare's going to bed. Good night, Phil. His
Good night,
10-year-old. We'll see you
Mwah.
tomorrow, Phil.
Love you.
6 p.m. live for Slamboree 98, the watch-along. Manicus is wild in the other room. What are you doing? What are all those hand signals? Oh, you're stretching. All right. Well,
But
that was my second
was
guess.
back in that time period, Teddy Hart kind of picked as the next big thing in wrestling, or one of them back in the late 90s, early 2000s?
No, because I don't think anyone looked at him as reliable.
98 even, when they signed him?
98. I don't even remember him.
He's still
going
the
back
youngest
that
guy, I think,
far.
signed to WWF. I think, did Rene Dupree beat him out? Rene might have beaten him out, maybe.
Close.
And I would have said, if you gave me young Rene Dupree or young Teddy Hart, I'd go with Rene Dupree. I think Rene Dupree's more money than Teddy Hart. I think.
Well, he was bigger and thicker.
Yeah. The only thing I think that worked against Rene potentially was the whole French
promos.
thing, because I
Yeah.
think Vince did not want to put. If you're from Montreal, I don't think Vince wants to make you a top face of the company, you know, because he thinks French people are the villains still.
Imagine if you ever met Boiselle.
Boiselle?
Yeah.
Is that French?
Yes, our good friend out front.
Oh.
I'll say this: I think Rene Dupree was the third best guy in La Resistance.
What I have, but right?
Really?
Behind Conway, and then the number one was Sylvain Grenier.
You thought Sylvain Grenier was good?
Actually, I take that back. The best one of the three I thought was Conway.
Yeah.
Overall, then Rene. But I thought Sylvain got better and was underrated. He wasn't bad.
Think the way they debuted him is the way they should have kept him.
But he's hilarious. I've seen interviews with him. He's a funny dude.
With Sylvain?
Yeah. He's like, I did not know anything, but there I was. This is so fucking funny. I was winning the tag title. I did not know how to work. Like, that's funny to me. That's funny.
Well, he had a little Eleanor Rastani in him.
He had Eleanor in him?
Yeah. He's very willing to keep the back door unlocked.
If I looked like him, I would too. I think him and Pat
you
were
have to have a certain look to keep the back door
I
unlocked.
think Pat just honestly I think Pat Patterson was just his friend. I don't think they were anything more than friends.
I'm sure.
What do you mean you're sure? You think Pat Patterson can't just have platonic male friends?
I don't think that guy that had no talent, no ability, no knowledge, no background was going to get the push he got in the middle of a Hogan and The Rock match without the back door being left unlocked.
Maybe it was the front door that was being.
Oh, potentially, but I.
Oh, fuck.
But to be fair,
almost
Dan,
decapitated.
That is
I think
whiplash right
he
there,
did
literally.
actually get better as time went on. I thought he wasn't that
It
bad
would
of a
be
worker.
hard not to unless you had no body.
Jesus Christ.
No, but as a talent, I don't think he was that bad overall. At the
That's
end
what
of
I mean. It
Yeah.
would be hard for him not to get, unless his body didn't work,
Yeah.
it would be hard for him not to.
But at
I
the
mean,
beginning,
if he's
he was
going
probably
out there and working.
Yeah, at the beginning he was probably pretty rotten. I'd imagine. Yeah.
He's swinging.
But
with
by
that.
the time 04,
With
05 came
the
along,
Disazeri swing. Did I say it right?
he has a
or
lot
wrong?
of fun with this. Oh God.
but I thought Rob Conway was out of the three of them was probably the overall the best one in terms of maturity
He
and
was solid. Yeah,
I
he was older. He was around more.
You know, I read in Bob Holly's book, and I didn't think about this, that when they did when they had the guys get off the gas after Eddie's death, he said that I need to stay on the gas to wrestle, because I didn't realize, looking back, Rob Conway was shredded back in the day, and he got off the gas and he kind of shrank a little bit, and they let him go after that, and it's a shame because he was a solid worker.
It's tough in a cosmetic business to lose.
But he didn't look that bad even off the gas. I thought he looked fine. He just didn't look quite as good.
Well, if you're on the bubble and you're that close and you're expendable,
Yeah.
Oh.
whoa.
What was that?
It's Rob Conway coming to say, yes, I was good. Also, too,
No,
he had
the
been
ladder didn't go up as high as they were planning.
He had been in OVW for like 7 years. You'd have to be pretty good at that. At
Oh,
this day,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, you'd have to know your stuff.
Baboon is all over this Grenier and Pat Patterson team.
I'll just say this. I would like to have seen. I had heard that Patterson met him at a strip club. That's what I heard.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
And he looked like he could be a stripper.
Oh, super kick.
Beautiful looking super kick from Stevie Richards. Or Big Stevie Cool, as he was referred to here. Which I thought was absurd, but call it one man's not liking comedy. Even two-man
This was at elimination, right? I think it was.
In ECW, they used to do the eliminations, I believe.
Did you like that more so than the fatal? Like, would you prefer an elimination three-way or four-way or a fatal?
You know, there's two ways to look at it. Does it make the match more respectable? If you're talking about if you're going to waste a WrestleMania main event with the triple threat match, I'd like to see it. If you're trying to avoid more than one guy doing a job, I like the other way. Under this circumstances, where it's their first pay-per-view, in some ways their biggest pay-per-view, I'd like the multiple eliminations.
You know, it's funny. I once heard someone say.
I guess the lights didn't. Are any lights on at this point? Manicus, what are you doing in there,
Getting
kid?
some cool effects here, though.
Yeah, I guess. I once heard someone say that if you saw someone a triple threat and it was like a fatal, a fatal three-way, or I guess it'd be a triple threat match, it was kind of like a sign that the company wasn't exactly fully sold on one guy in the show. Mm-hmm. So like Benoit, for example, against Triple H, instead of it being Triple H and Benoit, it was Triple H, Michaels, and Benoit.
I agree with on that match. Yes.
They didn't fully trust Benoit, and they're like, no, we don't have our faith in Benoit fully, so we'll put Michaels in there.
And another thing was they didn't really have anything for Shawn of any great consequence that year too. So it was almost killing two birds with one stone. It made that main event match bigger, and it gave Shawn something of importance to do.
And his angle with Triple H technically didn't end yet, so it was kind of like
So it was, it fit in more ways than one.
It didn't matter though, because Benoit ended up winning it.
We're not getting enough super chats, brother. That's the
Triple H.
problem. The lights won't stay on for us, as we like to say.
The light bills aren't getting paid.
The light bill. Well, Fluffy Guerrero's been on vacation again. Maybe that had something to do with it. Oh, right off his head. The Elaine Sauer of ECW, Terry Funk, from the Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas, still going for the pinfall after he got hit in the head with the trash can. Yeah, Benoit was killed by himself, yeah.
Well, that went dark there. Not with the with the lights too, actually. That happened about 15 years ago.
It did.
Which one?
The Benoit murders.
Right.
And
I think 06, right?
07, and it left.
07.
I had his poster on my wall.
Yeah. Did you take it down at that point?
Did you?
Not immediately.
You kept it up for a little while.
A little bit.
How old were you?
15.
Okay.
I had an Usher poster on my wall too.
Got who?
An Usher poster.
Oh, Usher?
Usher. Do you remember Usher, Dan?
I do.
Yeah, I had a poster over my bed.
You and Usher are probably about the same age, Dan, I think. Like
about that, yeah.
Usher was like in his 40s.
Yeah.
Early 40s.
About that. Yeah, because he was probably, about mid-20s there.
I taught him about some of his dance moves.
But I feel...
I mean, you did it earlier. It was pretty good.
Anyway, I remember how it happened, and I was crushed. And I was training at the time, and we went to...
Listen, a lot of people didn't want to believe that shit.
I didn't want to believe it. But you know what the crazy thing is? I think it really also left a black mark on wrestling. I think Dan can speak to this.
Yeah.
It left a black mark on wrestling that it took years for wrestling to recover from, if anything.
I'm reading that book right now. I don't know if you have Ring of Hell. I'm reading it right now.
How was it? Is it good?
I can never read that book before going to sleep. Like I have to read a little.
You have
it's dark. It's dark.
Stop.
It's dark as fuck.
Is it? So what's it about? The murders?
So it's about how dirty the wrestling industry could be, and about Chris Benoit, and basically how he was as a wrestler and the person. Just
this man could tell you about how dirty the wrestling business could be.
Oh yeah.
Dan,
I'm learning from Dan right now.
What's the
just crazy.
What's the dirtiest thing you've seen in the wrestling business?
Glance.
Well,
what is it?
What is it? What is it? Glance. What is it?
Pigpen.
I'm trying to figure that out myself. What is it?
Do you think Sasha was in the training camp with him and thinking to myself, my God, I hope this wrestling business really pays off for me?
I wouldn't want that going into the crowd like that. If these car rides were true, Sasha Banks probably went, the whole car ride there and the whole car ride home, and maybe even during the training. I don't know. Is that my good friend David Carter,
man, that
another
book
member
right
of
there,
the
don't
Boston
read it
wrestling
before you go to
family?
sleep.
Who's that?
A
It's
man
crazy,
that knows
man.
glance.
It's crazy.
Who?
Another man that's known to be on the gas, Dave Carter. I don't know if Manicus
Is he on the chat right now?
someone named David Carter. Is the emoji so small I can't tell if it's him? I know he would have loved. I'm sure watched this event. He was a fan from back then. Is the new guy Little Marathi? No. Kevin Hart is not Little Marathi.
Not close.
Oh wait, did Stevie Cole get? No, he didn't get injured at the show, did he? Or was that the next show he got injured at?
I don't remember what show it was that he got injured at, but he was in WCW making pretty good cash in June. I know that.
Well, I heard he left because he said that he felt he was going to get fired, and he just wanted to go before he got fired. Because he was brought in to be Raven's lackey, and then he's like, I'll just go tell Terry Daler to get rid of you or whatever. I don't know.
I'd like to get Lou one of those backwards leather hats. You think he'd look?
Like those old Kangol hats?
Yeah.
How do you think he'd look coming out in like an NWO kind of like jeans tucked into the shirt with cowboy boots and the hat? You never liked Lou, did you?
That is 100% untrue.
Okay.
I liked him up until I got that pussy coward text message saying that he wasn't going to do the toy drive thing. And at that point I realized, fuck, we're leaving in 8 days. Thanksgiving just got over. Everyone just used their time off. Christmas is coming. Whatever time off they have, they're probably planning on using between that and New Year's.
Yep.
I have all these talents booked. I have no way to get 6 crates of equipment to Florida. We're not going to get a refund from Airbnb. We are lighting thousands of dollars on fire while creating bad relationships with friends and peers. Then I hated him and wished him death. But he's still welcome to come and utilize the studio if he chooses to become a member.
I mean, I remember even saying to him, you know, and I'm not trying to say this as someone who's trying to work you. I said, go, even if you just stick him up for money, go. Because at least you get Florida. You know, at least for you, you know, you would like, though I know, knowing you the way I know you, if he stuck you up for cash at the last second, you'd pull a Vince and take him, and then as soon as you got back, you'd say, fuck you. I know you would. If he stuck you for cash at the end, as soon as you landed down, you'd be like, by the way, you're not needed. I know you would.
There may have been some birdseed on the ground, too.
Well, I don't know about that. Would you still be his friend after that?
No. Not at all. The the return ticket home on the plane may have been canceled too. But he might have got his money. That doesn't mean he was getting the plane ticket.
He goes, you see him call himself Pa. I'm stuck. I'm stuck, Pa.
I'm stuck like food between my birdseed-sized teeth. What is it that's stuck between your teeth, Adam? A grain of salt. Oh, fucking Lou. Fucking loser. Oh.
Ooh.
Captain Lou Albino. How great was he? I tell you, Julian, I don't know, brother. This Kenny. Who's Kenny?
Oh, God. That moonsault was just, ugh.
Yeah.
Terry was a little moonsault happy at this point in his career, I
Yeah,
think.
he was. Now, does Raven come out at this point? And he's
Yes.
just beating the
They're
crap?
running very low on pay-per-view time. And from as the story goes, their generator, which went out apparently seconds after this pay-per-view. John C. Manicus Riley is experiencing ECW for the first time.
Now, what was Raven's whole beef with Terry? He's like, I think you're old and fuck you kind of thing?
I really don't remember them having much of a program. But I wish Phil was here. I just think they took the top 3 contenders, and I think his issue, if I remember right, he was feuding with Sandman headed into this pay-per-view.
Raven, I thought, had a really cool look around this time.
I do. When he was gassed up like that, even though he worked in a T-shirt, it fit.
Well, he talked about he never had abs, and he's like, I want to cover my. But I thought he always had a good body up until this point. Like, even though
Right here,
body,
he looks like a good talent.
But even before that, like when he was Sky Flamingo, I thought he looked pretty good.
I
thought he looked great, but yeah, you could tell. But talk about the aging process of Raven. Look at Raven in '95 and then again in '05. He aged a lot.
Oh yeah, he had some kind of a disease that made him bloat. I remember when I was at the TNA tapings for the first time. I don't remember who. One of the guys told me at City Walk that I don't know what it was, but maybe disease isn't the right word, but some kind of an illness that made him bloat, which made him look like he aged about 40 years.
Okay. You know, he's a very smart guy. I think, again, in my top 10 smartest wrestling minds list, he's up there. I think he's one of the smartest people in wrestling.
Paul Bearer never found him to be all that intelligent.
Really?
He had heard that Raven said he was, had an IQ of about triple the average person, but.
And Paul Bearer didn't care for Raven?
He didn't dislike him. He didn't understand that opinion, I guess, is the best way to put it. Nothing bad to say about him. He just is someone that worked with him.
Look at that.
Jeez,
Is Terry Funk the Elaine Sauer of ECW? Does he come from the Double Cross Ranch in Amarillo, Texas?
He does.
Does he come out to Desperado?
He does.
Well, maybe he is.
That's an aged reference that I don't even get.
It's not an old reference by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think Sauer ever got color like that, but she liked baby blue, more like Raven shorts.
Dan, you're in love with your own jokes. I love it.
That's Tommy Dreamer screaming for Terry. Look at Funk throwing a couple of sours at Raven.
Uh-oh.
But no, I thought Raven always had a really good body, and he looked great up until the end, probably up until his second WWF stint. Around the time you were there, then it started kind of going to hell in a handbasket for him. But
I don't remember him even looking that bad then.
But I think Raven, he always thought of himself as a top guy, and he was in the minor leagues. Let me ask you, who has out of all the guys in ECW, who do you think had the best chance of being a main event star in the WWF or WCW? Him, Douglas, Bigelow, Taz, Sabu, Credible, Carino. I mean, Sandman. I'm trying to go through all the top guys they had. Dreamer. Like, out of all those guys, who would you put your money on? On paper, I'd say Shane, but even in execution, I wouldn't even go with him.
Probably Van Dam.
Van Dam's probably, yeah. And Van Dam was the most successful.
main evented a WrestleMania, so I really can't put him in the same category as some of the other people.
What main event? What Mania was
that?
that?
11.
Van Dam?
No, Bam Bam.
Oh, Bam
Like,
Bam.
11?
Bam
No,
Bam.
shit.
Oh, I was like,
Oh, they
what?
rhymed. I'm sorry.
I was like, what?
I was
11?
busy talking about Elaine Sauer.
Goldberg and Bam Bam had that program when he went to WCW, and I think Goldberg could have had a bigger deal with Bam Bam.
Oh, I think Goldberg. I mean, I think Bam Bam was a great opponent for Bam Bam.
Yeah.
Oh,
wait a minute.
But I think Raven's a very smart guy. Seems very intelligent, funny guy. He probably thought he should have been a top guy wherever he was, but he was just kind of like.
I don't think he ever should have left ECW. I mean, I'm sure he made a lot more money in WCW, but
Who are these
I think
people?
his father owned part of the Enquirer or something.
He was a writer for the Enquirer.
Is that what it was? Well, he had a lot of. The family had a lot of money.
See, ECW, people talk about how
Who's
great
that,
it was.
Dewdrop?
Oh, God. ECW, people talk about how great it was.
Dewdrop
but to
can't
me,
do that.
Some of the wrestling was really shitty.
That's what I mean. Was there any point in having that garbage, having some slob run out and powerbomb Terry Funk?
Some Bozark.
I'm sure she
We'll
was.
be at the satellite office getting food, and he'll be like, yeah, tell that Bozark I want my usual.
Oh, wait a minute. That's what I mean. Great look. I mean, he had a good gimmick.
Tommy Dreamer, do you think he could have been a big star?
Oh,
no,
for sure.
Yeah, but
And I like
I thought
Tommy
so.
Dreamer an awful lot, but
I like Dreamer.
he was like,
nice guy.
boy,
Met
this
one
is
time.
going to come across as an insult, but almost like a smaller independent version of a Dusty Rhodes type common man character. You know what I mean?
Kind of. Funny enough, I love the story and the idea of he was supposedly going to be with Buff Bagwell, Mark Bagwell, in that American Males gimmick.
Oh, and now, okay.
In
well,
94,
no, in 95, I don't see that happening. In 92.
Because
when
he was wearing suspenders and he had the goatee, Bagwell, they looked similar. Kevin
yeah,
Sullivan
like
pitched
I
that
said,
idea.
92 maybe, 93 Tommy Dreamer, not 95. He was in the
rap.
T-shirt by then.
Yeah.
The rep sold that.
Oh, my hips.
Plus,
I'm in a
no
lot of
offense
pain,
to Tommy,
folks.
but Buff Bagwell looked a lot better than Tommy Dreamer ever did, and I think Scotty Riggs fit that program a little bit better at that point.
Yeah, definitely. The late Alan Rizzo,
Oh,
Big
even
Dick Dudley.
he gigged off a goddamn trash can. You fucking Mark.
Oh.
What? What the fuck was that?
It looked like Quincy Rastani falling into bed. See,
Wait
that's
a
how-
minute, here comes Manicus Riley.
Woo!
He wants to see the finale out with the boys.
I just skipped ahead too far. I've already seen it.
Oh,
Ah, okay.
you've already seen the ending, so you figured you'd come see it again.
Good ending.
It's like
Bad
sneaking
ending?
into a movie theater after you just saw the end of fucking the latest Scream. You say, well, no, it was good. Let me go watch the last 10 minutes in
I
another
did that
theater.
with it. The second.
The second one?
The first one. The first
one?
The one that came out. The first one that came out. A few years ago.
2017.
Yeah, 2017. I did that
Wait,
with
what
it.
does that say? Drink up Phil's
Drink
bar?
of Phil's bar.
What? Phil has a bar?
Oh, he might have a basement, but I don't know about a bar.
Barbie called.
Locked.
Oh!
Locked.
That's a nice one.
That was really nice.
See, this is where I agree more and more with your point earlier, Charlie. With 9,000 run-ins, the good ones are ruined by the fact that you have...
And look, he just gets up on the DDT. And he's like, "Yeah,
Oh, small package.
Here it is. Sour! Sour! Sour!
Oh!
I was distracted by that one 8-foot tall bald guy
The 8-foot-tall bald guy.
in the crowd.
Oh, in the crowd. Oh.
Maybe you
How many people do they have in there? Like a
Oh
couple,
my
like
God. he was
1,000
on
maybe?
green shirt thing.
That is, well, maybe he's
I mean,
standing on a
ECW
chair
fans
or
were like
something.
no other.
And this was late Raven's last hurrah, right? He was in WCW right after this, I think.
No, he was there through June.
Okay.
I think it was June 7th, whatever that show was called at the arena. That's when he finished up. But a great finish to a pay-per-view I enjoyed. Charlie's kind of ruined it for me with making me notice the run-ins as much.
Where'd Raven go? Now Raven's like out of it. And I love, but the finish was weird, Dan. Like, just takes a DDT, kicks out two, no sells it, then picks him up and gets a
A little
It's
roll
like
up.
stupid. It's like what? Just pay for the DDT. Makes more sense.
Well, I really enjoyed this show. I remember live I enjoyed it a great deal. It had a 9 p.m. start time.
Odd.
Yeah.
Now, scale of 1 to 10, what are you going to rank this one?
Oh, boy, I like it a lot less than when I watched it live.
What was your favorite match?
My favorite match?
Yeah.
Probably the last one, as I was a
Okay.
big Terry Funk fan back in the day. I forgot all about the big slob that came in and gave him the power bomb. I don't even remember who the fuck she was. Do you?
I'm going to give it a 3.
Really?
A 3?
I don't care.
You
for
have
this
the
one.
hot takes tonight, man.
Wow.
4. I'll go with a 4.
Hot's furious.
Right.
I'll go with a 4. It was just
Fans at home, I'm going to ask you, what would you give ECW Barely Legal on a scale of 1 to 10? We won't even give the year because there was only one of them. Kevin, I'll ask you, as one of the Manicuses here in Boston Wrestling, what would you give Barely Legal on a... Have you ever seen it before tonight?
No, my first time.
All right.
For first time
Relax,
seeing it
calm
first.
down.
I'll probably say like a 9.
A 9?
I thought it was
A
really
9?
good.
Hot take.
And
That's not a hot take.
John C.
That
Manicus
was-
Riley,
this
a
was
man that's
pretty-
never
no,
seen
this is pretty
ECW.
entertaining. I
What
liked
do you
it.
think of it?
This, I'd say an 8.
What? They like it extreme.
I liked it. Okay, why didn't you like
On a
it?
scale of everything that I've seen.
Well, you usually see WWE pay-per-views. So
Right.
Yeah,
this was
this
new
is
for
like-
you.
This is your first ECW, right?
Oh,
I
my
just-
fucking
what about
back
you,
is
Dan?
new for me.
I'm going to 4.
I've only ever seen.
And what
like,
made you bump it up? Because it was 3 or 4.
I think maybe
before
3 was, I don't know, 3. I mean, I guess.
It's our good friend John
Was it the
Layfield.
pacing?
Let me think about. Let me think about
What
it
the
for a
hell
second.
is
I'll
this
get
that
through
they
it
have
to you.
on?
Just a regular match.
Well, my good friend John Layfield, along with the man that came from the loins of John Cena
Yeah, his
Sr.
egg. That someone
Cena.
stole my egg.
Hey, brother.
Hey,
He
brother,
came
here's your
from my
egg.
loins. I give
The
it.
animal.
I still enjoyed it. I sat through it. I was never bored with it. I just think, again, like you said, there was too many run-ins with no purpose that really took away from quality at certain points. But
I'm rating them on matches, though.
well, that's part of the match, kid.
Well,
Don't make us
Okay,
take you to the DeCesare School
no,
of
yeah,
Wrestling.
yeah, you're
brother.
right, you're right, you're right.
I'm still going to go 7. I really enjoyed it. I
7.
didn't think there was Shane Douglas
7,
and
8, 9.
Pitbull was
See,
kind of.
these watch times are tough because we're sort of half watching them too as we talk. But I'm gonna go with a 4. Again, I'm gonna
Well,
go
I
with a 4.
respect your opinion.
I'm gonna go 4 because the pacing. Again, I'm a wrestling guy where, like, to me, it's like if there has to be rules, there has to be order. ECW is just like, well, I guess we'll have 20,000 run-ins, and I guess we'll do this and
Wow,
that.
a lot of the fans are agreeing with you. Well, Bill Eve gave it an 8, not Bill Eady, but Charles Burt gave it a 2.
A 2.
Is it fair to say ECW was a love or hate kind of thing?
David Shan gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I can understand why people might not like that. I like the edginess to it. I like that it was more adult themed. I
like
like
that.
there was blood.
Yes.
I like there was swearing. I like that it was very, very different than what was on WWF and WCW at the time.
There were some great
That's
wrestling
why
matches,
if I
too.
was probably watching, if you asked me that night in April of '97, I would have probably given it at least an 8. But all those pointless run-ins at so many different times.
It was pretty redundant.
See,
But-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
See, like the
I
run-ins.
like how it doesn't feel like a professional sport. It feels like a bunch of guys getting drunk in a backyard.
Yeah, this
Like
is,
it was
yeah,
a bar
yeah.
fight.
I think you made that.
I want to see.
contrast.
I'm different. I want to see the professional sport. I'm like an old school.
He
Like,
was waiting for John Taffer to come out and start yelling at them.
yeah.
Do you know who John Taffer is?
No.
You don't know who John Taffer is? The host of Bar Rescue on Spike TV.
Oh,
now
the mafia-looking
Paramount?
guy.
I don't know if I'd call him that. He's Jew, but he had heat with John Cena Sr.
But what?
on Twitter, as a matter of fact.
Like a lawyer or something?
What's that?
It's like a lawyer or something?
No, he fixes bars. That's the name of the show, Bar Rescue.
Okay.
Helps people
No one has seen Bar Rescue.
I've seen. I know what you mean. I'm just trying to remember the guy's face.
Well, we'll have to.
I'll Google him right now.
But he had heat.
But I
with-
guess I'll go with a 4 because I guess to me, I just felt like again order and I want to see more
Order?
like more
Okay.
like it just seemed like spots for spots' sake and the selling and it's just
I think if the rules are enforced, it has a lot more value
Yes.
to it. And
True.
the problem I think with ECW was that,
yeah. John
it was
Taffer, this guy,
so-
he looks kind of like a mobster.
well, him and back in 2010ish, him and Cena Senior had heat.
Yeah. He'll talk about like
Let's call him
when
Taffer.
he did this one of the things like when you got a restaurant, you sell chicken. The first guy who comes in, if it's his first time, put a red napkin on his dinner table. That's his first time getting the chicken.
Well.
Next time you get him a coupon, 20% off. They want that experience. That's how he talks, right? He's like, you know, very.
He's got a very thick New York accent.
Yeah, but he talks like he says stuff like that, like give him a coupon card, brother.
You've seen it?
No. Him calling him Tapper is funny. Like the old video game.
Oh, you mean what Johnny would say?
Yeah.
Tapper, Toofer.
Yeah, 'cause
He'd say, brother, who did 4.4 million on Raw last week, brother?
no, 'cause Tapper,
Is that what he did in a segment?
Yeah, it was right after he did that This Is Your Life gimmick on Raw with The Rock and The Sun and Mick Foley.
Tapper was
4.4 million, brother.
Tapper was
What's Bar Rescue doing?
Which is funny because WWE would kill for a 4.4
No shit.
million. Vince would
If you
murder.
combine the 3 hours now, it's barely at 4.4 million. What were you saying, John
Barely.
C?
Tapper is like an old video game where it's like you play as a bartender and you slide drinks to people.
I didn't know that. He'd tap her probably.
It's like an Atari game. You didn't know that?
Who would I top?
Atari was a little before my time, believe it or not, John C.
Yeah, you might have been more in like the Super Nintendo Genesis era.
No, I had a NES.
Okay. I remember N64. I was a little younger than you.
I was done with them at that point. I had a Nintendo, a Super Nintendo, a Sega Genesis, and I think I had a PlayStation 1, but I barely did anything with it. And now I just know how to buy them.
Yeah.
I had PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Wii U.
Oh yeah, the Wii man.
Oh, listen to Hart.
So
about
would you be fair to say though that ECW was kind of a love it or hate it kind of thing then? I respect what it is,
yeah.
but I just to sit through a whole show and watch it intently, like Clash of Champions 1, I loved that show, and I could see how ECW is similar to that. But to me, Clash of Champions, NWA had rules and everything kind of meant more. ECW, you hit 2 DDTs for an opening spot. You know, it was just like they just didn't.
Well, as you could see, a lot of the guys they had weren't the most crisp talents in professional wrestling at the time.
But I respect what they did.
They didn't have money to pay.
And they had a cool
money
atmosphere. I get
Great
it.
atmosphere. The atmosphere was as much of the event as the
Do you think
I agree.
ECW was similar to AEW?
No.
No, not at all?
No.
He said that too. Why do you think that? Because I think it has a similar feel in some ways.
It
don't
reminds
know.
me more of Nitro more than
AEW.
AEW.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Wait a minute.
Because AEW.
No, AEW reminds me of WCW more than ECW.
Well, why is that? I feel like ECW, but I feel like they both have niche audiences. They both have sort of an indie following. I feel like WCW.
Oh, ECW would have fucking killed for AEW's following. Are you kidding me?
But honestly,
They were on fucking channels you needed rabbit ears for at 2 o'clock
the
in the morning.
the TNN station.
No. That before they even had a cable clearance.
Oh right.
I mean, when they had to pay, when they were on the Spanish channel in Worcester at 1 in the morning. Around here, that's the only way you
Phil
could
was
see
watching
it.
the Spanish channel going,
Yeah, I bet you he was.
Como estas, amigos?
I think he said that in the chat.
Yeah, he did, as a matter of fact. Yep.
He's
Him and
gonna kill
Adam
me for making
talking
fun of
about
him
it.
today, tomorrow.
He is.
He's gonna skin me alive and wear my pelt around the house with it tucked in.
And laugh.
Yeah.
I have to hear that.
Well,
laugh. I don't
Phil
believe
put
that.
his 10-year-old to bed. Chris Steves, did you really win the raffle? If you did, send us an email. I think we found a winner to the second raffle that John Cena Sr. drew on Wednesday. Quincy is behind Dan. Quincy, where are you? I'd be hearing him. I know that. Sure.
What's one thing you want to do with Quincy? Like, what's one thing that you would want to do with Quincy? If you could hang out with Quincy for an evening, what's one thing you want to do with him?
Drown him.
I'd want to go do something kind of crazy with Quincy.
If he ever has the chance to make this movie he wants to make with Al,
Snow Stoney?
Snow Stoney,
Oh, Lord.
it will be something worth seeing.
Is it like a Lethal Weapon 6 from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, if anyone knows what I'm talking about there?
Quincy really hasn't come up with a movie. It's almost like ECW. He's come up with spots for him and Al for the movie. Like Deborah McMichael's going to be the wife, and she's going to tell Al he has to be home by a certain time.
I think what he should do, I have a good idea for his movie, by the way.
And what's that?
So, Quincy's a man of God, right? He's a Christian.
Yes.
He's a big Catholic, right?
There's a prayer before Quincy's wrestling challenge.
So
Thursday nights.
A lot of people get religious tattoos, you know. So I was thinking of
on
opening
his nude.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. It's so like the scene, like he's in a tattoo studio getting the rosaries tattooed or like a Lord's Prayer, and he's like, you know, but he doesn't want to pay for it. So he's hustling the tattoo studio.
He wants it for free.
Pretty much.
And they write half of the verse.
Yeah, they say Austin 3:16 or something like that.
He gets confused by
I
that.
thought the concept is that he was stuck in his house with Al Snow during a snowstorm.
No, Snow Stoney? No, it's about it's about two guys who go out for this wild night on the town.
It's like an 80s movie where they have to go ski the mountain to save it. It's no
It's like Misery.
It's like Misery.
Oh my God.
Misery.
Sure,
Yes.
sure. The thing is, though, Al is crazy enough that he'd actually do it.
We should do that
I'm
Indiegogo,
friends-
$10,000 to make Snow Stani.
I'm friends with Al Snow on Facebook, and he posts on things, and I'll see it. And sometimes I want to write on it. Quincy Rastani says hello.
You should, and I bet you he'd respond to you immediately.
Oh.
He loves Quincy Rastani. As far as people wanting to
I found
pay
his
for this
Twitter.
movie,
I found Quincy's old Twitter.
with him in front of Fenway Park.
Do you want to read some of these tweets? Can I read old Quincy tweets real
Sure,
quick?
sure.
All right.
I don't know if it's going out or if it's
Matthew, if you behave yourself, yes, I like you. Kevin Spacey needs to join AEW.
Kevin Spacey.
Oh God.
David Shand has a lot of belief. He
Oh,
believes
God.
that Snowstani would break box office records all around the
Quincy
world.
Rastani's
David
Twitter,
Oscar
everyone.
Gold.
Here's his Twitter. Me and Uncle Al, all capitals. Me and Uncle Al are going on the road to be entertainers. 43 following, 14 followers. The last tweet was back in 2014.
Well, he
Gave
gave
it
up.
up. The last tweet says, Snow Stani at Six Flags, Uncle Al and ready to start the
Wait,
movie.
he's been
When
talking
are you
about
coming back to Boston?
Wait, what did he say?
He says, Snow Stani at Six Flags.
He's been talking about this for 8 years.
Yes, longer.
At Real Al Snow, you're welcome, Al. Damn, Reno keeps calling my house. Anytime you want to call and talk to my mother about
Oof.
going on the road, give. That's it.
Oof.
I found this song from many years ago for At Real Al Snow and Cindy with that chowder head Reno. I will make a new.
Oh, I haven't heard him call someone a chowder head in a long
Reno,
time.
Quincy and Reno get Al Snow ready to rock for Ox Baker. Happy Valentine's Day to all of my fans. See you soon at the next wrestling.
At the next wrestling.
Happy Valentine's Day to you, WB Diva, Deborah, and the puppies. I was going to sing a Valentine's song to you at the studio, but it snowed on Thursday. Could you get Deborah back in studio for Quincy?
She liked Quincy.
Yeah. Do you think she would like see Riley and Kevin Hart too?
She may want to reproduce with John C. Manek as Riley. I
Probably.
believe she's a woman that's never had a child.
Really?
And she's getting, a little long in the tooth, to be fair. So
I
this
could-
may be her last chance.
You think? I think.
Had a kid at 48.
Well, Deborah's a
Wow.
lot older than that.
You think her? I think so. If she does,
She really had a kid at
Possible.
48? Wow.
If Manicus
I feel
doesn't,
like
if
Poppy is
Manicus doesn't
like,
want, you think her and I would be
yeah.
a nice
The
couple?
oldest natural childbirth is like 60.
She's someone that I'll say,
60. Oof.
and this is a compliment, I think she's getting better looking as she's got older.
Okay.
Like they say about a fine wine.
Fine
she got
wine.
better with
Aging
age.
like
yeah.
fine wine.
Would you throw it in Deborah?
Thank you to Real Al Snow. I'm going to my sister's on Pond Street. Maybe you have time to talk to my mother.
He's so close. to
Did he
getting
mention Julie Earl?
So,
Don't dox
August
Quincy.
2013. At Real Al Snow, Al, my mother's upset. I came in the back door tonight. When I got home from the shop, I'm ready for San Diego and to sing with you.
San Diego? What the fuck was San Diego?
I don't know. But he left the back door open. He came in.
San Diego?
I hate those cheap
Jesus
ass
Christ, Al, this is huge. I love fucking overtime. I want to come to San Diego. My 50th birthday is October 20th. Is that true? CUNC.
What's the date?
50th birthday was October 20th, 2013. So that means he's going to be 60 in a couple next year.
Wow.
God.
Yeah, he is.
60.
Happy 4th of
Looks great
July.
for 60 after that.
They're all to Al. Happy Happy 4th of July for Christ's sake. You're a real American. And I can't wait to see you and the rest of San Diego.
Imagine saying that.
You can't imagine him saying
No,
that?
I can't.
Oh, you can.
He
Hear it in
tweeted
my head.
he tweeted at Slick Wagner Brown. Jesus Christ. That's all he really.
What did he say to Slick?
I don't know, he just said Jesus Christ.
That's it?
That's it.
Did he mean it in the
I don't know.
holy way? Or?
I really don't know. What else did he say? There's a picture of him with his tiger stripe jacket. That pussy
Leopard
Jacoby's
skin.
playing. Huh?
Leopard skin.
This one right here, if anyone can see it.
That was when he was going and panhandling for change at Fenway Park.
He said that pussy Jacoby's playing tonight, Red Sox. Bore asshole must be happy. And this is him with some milk.
Oh, God.
It's terrible. What is? Please help with my pretzel ball if you're at Red Sox game. I need to go see Al for my 50th birthday in October.
I don't get the milk obsession, man.
Um,
I don't understand San Diego.
Is he
I don't
talking about,
know.
like another place that starts with, like, is he talking about San Antonio or?
No, Al is from Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know how he get that confused with
Uh-oh.
San
I
Diego.
knew
But
Where did you meet him though?
here,
Here?
yeah. Oh, my stomach hurts.
great picture of my bike. John Lackey and Red Sox are kicking Ranger ass. Let's ride with Uncle Al and Don Klein. It's a picture.
Is there a picture of Don Klein?
No, but it's a picture of him and his motorcycle.
I thought, if there was I'm sure you have no idea who Don
No.
Klein. What you missed with fucking Don Klein. Oh, I'll never forget hearing Quincy trying to promote one of the events we had at Memorial Hall.
Oh, is this Boris? Is this what he calls Boras? Boraz? What was the guy he doesn't like from the Bible? Borash?
The Barabbas.
Barabbas. I think that's what he's trying to say, but he calls it Boris.
He was screaming through the streets near the TD Garden. March, whatever they say, March 9th, meet Ox Baker, Don Klein. I'm like, and we're trying to find him. All you could hear was just like, it was like an end of the world type movie with Quincy screaming with flyers. You know, we're trying to promote Lashley, Carlito, Paul Bearer, Jimmy Snuka, and he's screaming about Ox Baker and Don Klein, who wasn't even a wrestler.
Who is Don
He
Klein?
used to drive Ox Baker to the show. He looked like he could have been one of the hillbillies back in the 80s.
Oh, God.
Hell of a nice guy, but
Apparently he thought Jacoby Ellsbury was a Barabbas.
Who do you think Quincy's favorite person from the Bible?
the Lord Jesus Christ.
I was going to say Lazarus.
I'm not sure.
Massel Sports, Jesus Christ, love your name. Have never been to a Red Sox game, but will if fans help my pretzel jar.
He did. He had a giant pretzel bottle that he'd take with him.
Did Eleanor ever buy him anything, or no? I guess she's like, you're a grown man, Quincy.
He did what?
Has mother ever give him money for anything, or
She lets him take a little bit out of his check each month.
check from where? Oh,
You know,
disability.
yeah. But he was going. He had. I'll show you the boom box in the other room. He would take the CD player and a pretzel bottle into Fenway
What do you mean a pretzel bottle?
to collect the change.
But what is a pretzel bottle?
To collect change
What
from
is a
people.
pretzel bottle?
He
You
has
know,
a
like
picture of it.
a big bottle that you'd have put pretzels
He has a
in.
picture of it right here.
Oh, okay. Like
You thought it was shaped like a
Someone
pretzel?
put dollar bills in this bottle.
All right, well, see, he did all right
like
that
this one
night.
Yeah.
crackers.
And
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
he danced to music in front of Fenway Park for money.
Have you
And I
seen?
mean,
Did you go with him?
you know who walked by him once?
Who?
Fucking Pickett.
Wait, what? Wait, what did you say?
Pickett walked by him once. Peggy couldn't believe her fucking eyes. I saw Quincy dancing for money at Fenway Park.
You need to meet Piggott.
Oh, no, he
Piggott?
doesn't.
Piggott is a lovely woman from the Melrose.
Oh, God.
I would say lovely.
White they're each.
My
Oh,
stomach
yeah.
hurts right now.
She's not lovely.
Not really. There's a.
Oh, Baboon, you have no idea. Quincy he's a dancer.
What kind of dances does he do? Does he do belly dancing?
It's just movement. Odd, wild, violent movement
It's entire.
in the leopard skin coat. That's why Al fell in love with him.
I will return to Red Sox Fenway Park for 2 games, June 18th. Free autographs and pictures of my pretzel jar with change or dollar to see Al.
Wait, he's giving out free autographs?
Well, good. More of the baseball players should have done it. But Al, the first time we went to Kowloon, when Al didn't know him, he described it. He said, Quincy just got up. He wasn't with anyone. He went to the dance floor.
This is Al Snow?
Yeah, and he just started dancing, and everyone on the dance floor started to gravitate towards him. He didn't care how bad he looked or how foolish he looked. Everybody fell in love with Quincy in his dancing.
He's hard to
That
dislike.
Frank Zappa song.
He-
Dancing Fool.
Here's
He
one.
sure is.
Here's one. Fenway time at Red Sox. Help my pretzel jar. It's music and party time. Yes, yes, yes.
Wait, what's it say?
He writes, Fenway time at Red Sox. Help my pretzel jar. It's music and party time. Yes, yes, yes. June 3rd, 2013. And then a picture of at Fenway Quincy. Tweet me.
He used to go nuts when we'd have him do the flyers at WWE events, screaming yes. And he thought the people were chanting for him.
But it was Daniel Bryan's.
Right.
Yeah, it was when Yes started with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Providence was like his town. They'd go, they'd go, it's the Yes guy. And he'd start screaming.
He's like a showman Don Quixote.
Poor Quincy. Oh, we miss him on Thursday night on Wrestling Challenge, and it's only been a week, but hopefully this Thursday night.
I want to start paying for his Ubers.
You want to pay for Quincy's Ubers?
What is it, like $10 to get him down here?
Something like that.
That's worth it. That's easily worth it.
Well, if the fans want
If
him,
you
they
want
can
to do
have
it, you
him.
do it. That's all I can say.
Oh, my God. Does he dance
He's
with the
only
Bee
10 minutes
Gees
away.
on?
I know that. I know he's only 10 minutes
He's
away.
close.
Come here.
He's not even like
It's
4
it's
miles.
a $12 Uber. I'll at least do it for a couple weeks.
Well, he used to walk, you know.
To be fair,
And is you
no,
Sean
no. Will he
Evans,
ride after it rains?
At this time of year, he's...
But in like June, if it rains that night.
Oh, yeah.
Because with rain, you could see if it rains, you actually have more traction than you think. You just have to be careful. You know.
At the speed he goes, he's got nothing to worry about. When he gets pulled over for going too slow.
Yeah.
All right, John, see, let's
For
take
going
this
too
one
slow.
home, baby. I'm in pain after reading those Quincy tweets. I don't know. I don't understand
He
San
needs to
Diego.
get back on.
but
Can you tell him to get back on Twitter and to make tweets?
I think
I'm
do
not
you
even on
think he
Twitter.
remembers how to use Twitter?
So in
What was the last year that he used it?
2013, 14, 14, I think it was.
All right, wrestling fans, we hope you love Barely Legal. The stream is Barely Legal. It was a pleasure to have with us for the very first time Mr. Kevin Manicus Hart will be back with us tomorrow night.
Yes.
Along with the man, it only rhymes with one thing. Well, actually a couple, but one thing that we know it rhymes with best.
The Cesarii?
Treasury.
Treasury?
Phil
He'll be here
Cesarii,
tomorrow?
the voice of the Millennium Wrestling Federation live events.
He'll be here tomorrow?
Will he have his Woo Sox hat with him?
I'm thinking he's going to have his ECW shirt on.
Oh, really? You think he's going to be extreme tomorrow night?
Maybe. He's always extreme.
You think he still has his Slamboree 98 t-shirt?
Imagine someone wake up in his basement, you see an ECW poster on the wall. He's like, I got this from Paul Heyman.
I got it from Paul.
All right, for all the Manicuses, Riley, Hart, Charlie Wilson, CW, Dan Marotti, folks, I don't know what this was. It really was Barely Legal. We will be back live tomorrow night, 6 p.m., WCW Slamboree 1998 from Phil DeCesare's backyard. A hop, skip, and a jump from his basement at the Worcester Centrum. So we're going to have a great time on the Peacock Network's version of WWE. Hope you can all join us. A pleasure. Until we speak again, folks.